And that is a monster card, I'm assuming, the ghoul. Let's take a look at it. Well, it's probably going to be the case that whenever we play a monster opponent, we'll get monster rewards, Nilfgaardian deck opponent, Nilfgaardian rewards, Scoia'tael rewards, so on and so forth. So that probably shouldn't be too much of a surprise that we're getting that, but we don't have many monster cards yet. It does have that ability to find any cards with the same name and play them instantly. I'm guessing, based on how the Vampire Garcane also has that ability, and we saw several cards that could do that our opponent played. That very well could be a theme, at least one of the themes of the monster deck. Okay. Do you perhaps have anything else in here that we would like to get? You have 2 doors? Here. Okay, I'm assuming we don't want to loot that. I don't necessarily see any guards around here, but let's not test our luck.
Told him to patch the roof. House will be full of puddles again.
Okay.
Yeah?
Do you have anything to say to me? However, loot in the buildings. Now that's fair game. Granted, we probably could/should have looted from all the houses and other buildings before we went to the vendor, because, for instance, that white pelt, we could theoretically turn around and sell. Can we sell books? It's like we got Gnomish Prankings very recently. Silver Pantaloons! So it would be great if we could sell books that we have multiple copies of, because at this point, it feels like we're quickly approaching librarian status. Not sure if we've seen that one, though. That sounds different. The woven storm. These scars long have yearned for your tender caress. To bind our fortunes, again with the star zone. Rend my heart open, then your love profess. A winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. Chorus. You flee my dream, come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. This sounds an awful lot like Yennefer and Woven Storm. Would seem to be something that could be applicable to Geralt. Did we write this? A dream of raven locks in twisted, stormy, of violet eyes, glistening as you weep. I don't remember what color her eyes are. The wolf I will follow into the storm, to find your heart, its passion displaced. By ire ever growing, hardening into stone. Hearts of stone, amidst the cold, to hold you in a heated embrace. Chorus. Be my dream, come the morning, your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. The sweep of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? Be my dream, come the morning, your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet, dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. Ah, very interesting. Oh, also happy to see that these people are keeping rotting flesh on their desk, right where that book was. One might even think that they were reading the rotting flesh, perhaps. So what is this? A little more alcohol. Yeah, I mean, this certainly is a small little village here. An opportunity to play Gwent, yes. But I would have loved if we could have perhaps found a way to get a little more out of it. If there were more people here that had quests for us to go on. But it seems most of these people are just generic old men and women. We've been in here? I'm not sure if we have. This might be different. Inhabitants of the villages of Downwarren and Lindenvale. Okay, so are Downwarren and Lindenvale usually lumped into the same group? I mean, they're kinda sorta in the same area, but it's still quite a distance between them. And maybe they're the two closest villages? But even that's probably a bit of a stretch. So the inhabitants of the villages of Downwarren and Lindenvale are hereby ordered to report to the Nilfgaardian Army Group Center camp to perform labor for the Empire. Lists of assigned residents and their designated days of service have been provided to the village eldermen. Those caught evading their duties shall be flogged. And we've seen that in other places. Excuse me. For the most part, though, it kind of just looks like these people are alcoholics and not much else. Gwent players, I suppose, is an important distinction, but mostly just a lot of alcohol. Oh, there's the Elderman. Okay. You might have something to say.
Busy, man.
Or not. Been in this building? Apparently not. Okay. Almost missed this one. Not sure that we're gonna find much of significance here, but worth a shot. Limestone? Not sure if we've seen that. That might be something. Oh, and I thought I saw... Oh no, that's just extinguished. No big deal there. What's up, Mega? How's it going? Let's see. Like, I mean, it'd be tempting to loot this up here, but I'm assuming that people will not be happy with us if we do. So I think for the most part, we may have just kind of done everything in this village, which is not saying much, but I think that's just about it. So we'll travel back and we'll turn in our quest. And, I mean, there are definitely other things down here. Even, wow, it goes way further south than I realized. So there are definitely more things in this area and in between Downwarren and Lindenvale. And at some point we will definitely explore that further. But at least for the time being, let's turn in this quest. Okay, and Dolores, you are... Yeah? You have turned into a boy? A little boy? No. Maybe. Possibly. You're over here.
You've returned. What's become of my home?
Well, I'm just glad you have not transformed. It is kind of sort of safe now. I mean, it's free of wraiths, but there is also a gigantic ent that is, romping around, throwing tree branches at people. So, you know, that safe is maybe a bit of a strong word to use.
It's safe now.
I thank you. This means so much. And perchance, did you find my chest? With my treasures?
Yeah, pretty generous as rewards go.
You've earned
100
every
orns, I
last
think?
bit.
Or
Time I was
coins
on
of
my
some
way.
variety.
Gods guide you.
Okay. 25 experience points. Not that much in comparison to other quests that we've been doing. Sometimes even just, Witcher contracts have been higher experience than that. My suspicion would be that that is because that was a level 6 quest and we are now level 7, so we might have just barely missed the ideal time to do that, and that would probably be a good reason for us to focus on this right now. Thou shalt not pass. Oh, well. Huh. Do we really just cross the Pontar, and that's it? That's all we do? I mean, presumably, there's I think there was a big city up there that we'll want to explore. We were kind of focusing on going in this southern area, and I don't necessarily know if it's better to go one or the other way first. Yeah, so let's see, earlier we were fighting I thought it was going to be a wraith, but it was actually, I think, like a grave hag or something like that. from a Witcher contract. Then we just did the quest for Dolores to rid her old mansion of wraiths, and happened across an Ents that nearly one-shot us on the way over there. So that was a little bit alarming. Ran into some Endrigas for the first time. That was cool. And now the question of where we ought to go next. And yeah, at least in terms of quests that we currently see, Thou Shalt Not Pass would seem to make the most sense, because it is at our current level, and if we delay any more, then it might go below our current level, and then we're at risk of maybe getting a bit of an experience penalty there. I'm just a little hesitant to go into an entirely different area that we have yet to explore when we've only just started to explore in the southern part of Velen, although after having looked down here and seen that there's a lot more down here, maybe southern is not all that accurate. No idea what that looks like. A military base or something. Like the Nilfgaardians have taken over there. I mean, it is the furthest south, and this is supposedly no man's land, but on the southern edge, I could imagine that being where Nilfgaard is trying to make an advancement. Yeah, because like we've been to Lindenvale, we have been to Blackbow. We've done a little bit of exploring in and around Blackbow, but we've not yet been over here, Crow's Perch. We've walked past this spot here, but have not actually been to the city over there. And we, of course, were just in Downwarren. There doesn't seem to be much here, but there's all this unexplored area in between the cities, and in some cases, fairly large cities, that we have not yet explored down here. So part of me is hesitant to cross the river and open up an entirely new can of worms when we're only just exploring our current can of worms. But this might still be a decent time to do it, because we have not, I don't think we've officially started any of the quests at this stage. Double check that. Like this one, I'm assuming fixing damaged shrines is probably not all that time sensitive. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a bit of a surprise there, because, well, it does say level 10 is the recommended level. And, well, if it is truly just pressing a button whenever we happen to find a shrine that's been knocked over, and that's it, then that seems a little strange that that would require level 10. So maybe there's a little more going on there behind the scenes that we don't yet know about. But otherwise it's just main quests, which does have a level 5 quest that we are kind of deliberately not doing right now, because my understanding is that we ought to prioritize secondary quests first. Some of those are time sensitive, whereas the main quest typically is not. And then the Witcher contracts, we're doing fine there. You know, it's not like there's, and by that I mean, it's not like there's anything that we would want to do in the near future. We'd need to level up quite a bit first, it seems. There is a sunken treasure somewhere in Novigrad that we have learned about that theoretically might be decent, but is level 4. I mean, I assume that the experience that you get from finding the treasure from the treasure hunts is not so much the big point as much as it's getting the actual loot. But it does also kind of seem like, well, you know, if you do every low-level quest, then you're going to level up. You're going to get the experience to level up, and then at some points, you're going to be a higher level than some of the remaining quests, like, you know, what we just had with the level 6 quest, helping Dolores, the House of Reardon.
Well,
We didn't dilly-dally much. It's not like we've been doing a ton of side quests yet in Velen, and yet we were already over-leveled for that. But yeah, I suppose let's cross the river, and if it is truly just as simple as that, we just need to cross the river and then we get the experience, then it might be as simple as crossing, and then immediately coming back here to explore the wilderness down further south. But if we need to do more on the other side of the river, then that's probably fine. We'll just be a little bit all over the place. Be hard to stay organized in that case and remember which wildernesses, the plural of wilderness, which areas of wilderness we have and have not yet explored, because that can be a little hard to tell at times. Also, there's not a great place for us to fast travel to one of those bridges that takes us to the other side of the river, seemingly. And Hangman Street might actually be the closest, or Dodger's Quarry, probably Dodger's Quarry. Maybe Stonecutter's Settlement if we were to go this way. I don't actually know if we ought to go to the more eastern route or the more northern route. I feel like north is probably the way to go, but this area is huge. There's so much to do. I don't know. We'll go here. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically the thought I'm having now is that, yeah, we may not be doing them in the perfectly optimized order, but we'll at least put some thought into when and where we're doing things. Oh, actually, that's not a bridge. That's an entirely different thing. I mean, we do probably want to investigate that at some point, but I think we actually do want to go Hangman's Tree, and it'll just be a little bit of a longer walk up north here. Yeah, so I don't think we're necessarily going to be, perfectly optimized in terms of the exact order in which we're doing quests, but I don't really think we can do that when we're going blind. We don't know what we don't know, right? There's no way of being certain... What is over here? Oh, there's always wolves here. That's it. Let's not worry too much about those. Or wild dogs. We don't know what level of quests, or what quests, or how many quests there are at different areas and different levels, so there's no way of us optimizing our playthrough in that way. So we'll just act with the information that we have. That's all we can do. When facing uncertainty.
Faster.
So, in that case, I think we're taking a step in the right direction here, going for what is our lowest remaining quest short of the,
Hey there.
the treasure, the hidden treasure, and the main quest, which I believe is still, like I was saying before, something we ought to hold off on. Now, I believe we had our custom waypoint back in White Orchard. I'm curious as to whether we can still, we can still put them here. Okay. I'm not necessarily sure which one we want to put here, but sure, let's do that. Theoretically, that might help us navigate a bit. Actually, did we have the crossing the river as our main quest here? That would probably serve a similar purpose. Alright. Thought we've been here before.
Come on.
Get down here, buddy. I thought we'd seen these bandits before. I did also learn that, I thought we could knock them off their horses with the crossbow. Maybe it takes a few hits for that to happen. But we did, I think, knock down the first one with, what was it? It must have actually been Axie. Ard probably would have been a little more of a traditional, conventional choice. Don't think we're going to want those axes on the assumption that they're probably quite heavy. Now we did, I'm pretty sure, run into these guys earlier because we have already freed this person who was at one point over here. Yeah, so we're going to deliberately pass on taking any of the particularly heavy stuff. Yes, we could theoretically break those down into components, but I think that is more efficient if we are to do that with lighter items. I'm surprised that those guys were still there. Fought them the first time around. I guess they were still there the second. These should be friendly people. And that isn't actually as far as I thought it would have been. Not a terrible walk. Okay, And don't loot that stuff. Tempting as it may be. Yeah, and that's nice. You know, we don't have any... Well, I mean, I suppose there may be some things that we outright fail if we wait too long. That may be possible. But, at least we know that we'll have access to most of them. And yeah, it might not be perfect experience, but we can still do most of it.
In a hurry.
I need to talk to you guys.
Oh, it's
yeah.
you.
Huh?
Can't let you pass without a pass.
Oh, I am kind of curious how you want us to get a pass, but we do have a pass, so let's cut straight to the point.
Perfect. Just so happens I have a pass.
What? Let me see.
You're not supposed to have a pass.
Doesn't seem forged. You never know. All right, move on.
Okay, so there we go. Quest updated. Not sure if it's actually complete though. Looks like it might be complete. Wait for it. There we go. Okay. You just spit at me. Do that one more time. Okay. We do have the quest marker, or the fast travel point here, I should say. And I think that is probably all we were looking for. This is just the border post. Okay, interesting. This is kind of like an in-between land. Dividing this, I don't know if continent is the right word, but landmass. Dividing it from this one. So I think we do still want to continue to explore to the south, like I was saying. Because we wanted to get this done while we were still level 7, because it was a level 7 quest. To avoid that experience penalty. Min-maxing a little bit, if you will. But, let's see what ought to be next on our list. And it seems... we actually don't have anything that's very close to our current level, other than the Sunken Treasure, which, as I've already said, is a fair bit below our level, but I'm assuming... I mean, there probably isn't a difference between doing that now and doing that 10 levels from now at this point. We have the penalty, regardless of when we do it. I don't know how dynamic that penalty is, if it changes depending on how far above the quest level you are. I think, yeah, what intrigues me more is trying to knock out some of these question marks. Perhaps over here by Lindenvale, or back over here by Blackbow. It feels like we've done more by Blackbow, because we went over up north for the isolated shack when we did the quest where we fought the werewolf. We also went over along the coastline here. I don't think we went further south, but I feel like there's still basically almost everything to do in Lindenvale besides the 2 quests that we've done. From an exploring the wilderness standpoint, I mean, there's potentially some dangerous things out there. Oh, the other thing though, there was a guarded treasure over here where I think this was a level 14 enemy, and we were a little concerned about it at the time. We weren't sure that we'd be able to fight it, but now, with some gear upgrades and probably 1 or 2 levels since we last were over there, that might be a little more feasible. If we were to teleport here, we could probably get that done. There's Sunken Treasure. I mean, that's probably not... Or, Spoilers of War. It's probably the only thing in this location for us to do remaining, because I think we've otherwise explored it fairly thoroughly. But that might be nice to be able to give this section a more complete check. Be able to write it off and say, yep, we're done with this spot. This tiny little area, we're good. Because otherwise, we're going to be dancing around all over the place, being partially done or mostly done in most locations, but never really fully done, and that's just going to be hard to keep track of. Oh, we probably could mark this with an indicator as well. Let's see, so if we do this. Let's put this one on.
That's it, Roach.
So that should take us where we're looking to go. And I don't remember. I mean, we have explored this area a reasonable amount, I think.
Come on,
But I don't remember what we saw here. Did we go all the way out into the swamplands over there? Left? I feel like we very well may not have. I don't even know if we can go there. Will Roach walk on it? Flash through it? Sort of. Can we swim through it? Yes. No. I'm a little intrigued. Drowners. Okay, we probably should have expected that. It shouldn't be too bad, though. Only level 4. And we certainly have plenty of drowner brains, so not that we're in particular need of those, but sure. We are probably another drowner. I forgot that we were on hard there. Monster heart? Is that what it said? I took it before I really see what it said.
I like that silver.
Not that we really need to be relying on Quinn all that much against these drowners, but okay. Some kind of plant here. Dagger. That looks like that might be something. Oh, and something is coming for us here. That is another drowner. Trying to sneak around that tree. I saw you. You get me. Granted, did still manage to get a hit on us, but that's just because I was feeling generous. Where is this on the map? Oh, we're actually going south. And we're further west than I realized. Okay, so we actually, if we were to go all the way through these swamplands, then we would end up back closer to Linden Vale. So I think let's hold off on this for now. I do want to explore closer to Linden Vale eventually, but I am intrigued by being able to finish up this area in full, or close to in full. Get Roach back. Where'd you go? There you are.
Come on.
So we could potentially deliberately try to take something other than the most direct route.
Go.
See if
go.
it happens to have us come across
there,
some
Roach.
interesting stuff. Which may or may not be the case, but well, you know, it is taking us off the beaten path a bit here. Those are just deer. Bees. A swarm of bees has attacked us. Uh-oh. You can use art sign to drive them off for a while, or the igni sign to kill them with fire blast. Bees attack anyone who gets too near to their hive. So we've definitely seen beehives before. When you say a swarm of bees, do you mean that this is actually more significant than bees that we've encountered in the past? I don't know. Let's check it out. That is a lot of bees. Oh, that is the wrong side. Also, a floating beehive. By the looks of things. Okay then. Floating beehives that don't turn into honeycomb. Moving on.
Whoa.
Harold is impressed.
Slow now. Whoa.
Basically, whenever my controller
Faster.
vibrates, I'm making sure that we stop to check out what's going on, in case it's an indication that there is something we should take note of. It did vibrate there, but I didn't
Slow now.
see anything, so we'll keep on going. And from what I remember of the last time we attempted to fight this enemy, which was a long time ago, a fairly long time ago, it threw some kind of projectile at our face, which was a little alarming, and it made it so that it was difficult to see. So let's be on our guard for that. What are all these red dots here? They are awfully close together. Now, if these are just wolves, then I'm not terribly interested, but if they're bandits, Then I might be. Then I might be. There was a bandit camp around here somewhere. I don't necessarily think that this was it.
Too late to surrender.
I mean, it is. Now it is. It wasn't. Until we did that. Yeah, have we? We must have checked this location, right? Pretty sure this is just a little area on the main path. Oh, we're in a totally different area. Right, because we went over the swamplands and then didn't actually cross back over the river. Okay, so we should head back. Now we're basically entering Blackbow at this point. That is... Oh, wrong way on the path. That is my bad. What? Etherton? Hold on. Maybe that was the right way. And this is actually... Oh, this is actually... Yes, a different village, and this is the village with the primary quest. We don't really want to be doing right now, so... Interesting as it may be, I think we will pass up on it. It is a little odd that the buildings appear to have snow on them when there does not appear to be snow anywhere else. But, you know, let's just not think too much about that. Okay. So, Roach, take us back. At least for the moment, we can certainly follow this path. And yes, so we have not explored this area at all, as you are probably now seeing, based on what we are currently running into here. Hello, bandit.
Not another step, or there'll be one corpse more.
I was thinking we were on the other island, or landmass, in which case we had explored a fair bit and had run into an official bandit camp. What is going on here, though?
What are you doing?
What one does in the country, harvesting. Just switched from wheat fields to battlefields.
Corpses look fresh. Some of these men still alive a bit ago, right?
Aye, they were. Wounded but breathing. Healer could have helped them, but no healers around. Just us.
So you took it upon yourself.
Just thieves and murderers.
Your ploughing's starting to annoy me, and I don't like being annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the direction in which this was going to go, right? These guys are actually fairly weak. Just level 5, and one of them might have been level 6. Actually not sure which sign we'll want to use. There are a lot of them. Axiom might make some sense. Excuse me, sir. I'm rather surprised that you are actually managing to block me. Not for long, though. And also, I mean, you know what happens when we have this music on. We are unstoppable. So, I'm sorry, guys. But it's game over. Oh, well, I mean, it would have been nice if you maybe let me do this. So that I could just do some, that. Probably could have snuck up behind him and gotten a crit, but... little bit of experience. Not a ton. Probably one of those instances where we might have gotten more had we done this earlier, but again, no way we could have really known that, so we'll take what we get. Ooh. I'm curious about that sword, though. Looks like it could potentially be good. And the wolf hide. Hides do tend to be half decent. No, I did not mean to pick that up. I do recognize the Velen sword as a type of sword that we have seen many a time before, and it is usually quite awful. Erebor sword, though, it's actually... Huh. It's pretty beat up at the moment. But if we were to get this repaired, it would probably be better than what we're currently using. Granted, the thing that we're currently using is probably pretty damaged itself. Velen axe at 0%, yeah? Whereas if we swapped over... See, that's kind of odd. That even weapons that have more durability than the steel weapon that we're using are still weaker. They should have an advantage. They should have a 1-up on our current steel weapon, yet they don't. Some of them are close, yes. You could argue, repair them, they'll be better. Well, yeah, but we ought to just repair our current axe in that case, and it would continue to be better, presumably. That's pretty terrible. That is a silver sword, though. Mostly thinking about the steel. Okay. Oh, did we drop the Velen one? The absolutely junk one? Or did I just say that we ought to do that and then not actually do it? Here it is. Okay, let's drop this. Then we'll move on.
Let's go.
Okay, so yes, there definitely are many more things in this area. We've not fully explored it. I thought we had, but we are in an entirely different area than I had previously thought. So we'll head back to where we meant to go. What is that? Hold on. Where are we, though? Did I start going back in the wrong direction again? Yes, I did. I was like, that building looks awfully tall. I don't remember seeing that. It's odd that the quest indicator is, well, I mean, it's probably because the main quest is in that direction, and that's trying to direct us over there. What I really want, though, for us to get to this guy.
Come on now.
Game's trying to play mind games with us. That bug is just messing with us. It's like, I'm gonna run right next to you and just see if maybe you might want to do something about it.
Slower.
Now, did these corpses that they were looting also have some loot that we could nab ourselves? I thought that might have been the case. Yes, but does it really matter? Not really.
Come on.
All the other ones are the ones that we've already checked. Okay, now we're headed east. That should be the right direction. That is seemingly the river. That should also be an indication that we're going the right way now. Have we seen this?
Come on,
I
Roach.
don't think we've seen this, though. Talk to these
Slow
people.
now. Whoa.
They look like they are peaceful, I think.
Oh!
Are you okay? Odd. I'm not totally sure what the deal is there. I mean, they're praying to that thing, clearly, but I was half expecting that to be
Hey, yeah.
one of the shrines for us to pick back up. I don't think this is exactly the place where we crossed the river before. Probably a little further north or further south. It should, I believe, take us back to the landmass that we're looking to be on. I think this is going to be the southern tip. Yeah. Oh, it is the same path. We just went down, cut a corner here, going through the water earlier. Okay. So now, if we continue going this way, eventually we'll head north, and we could potentially do it here, but I think we're probably going to end up taking the next road up,
Slow now. Whoa.
which means we probably just went the wrong way out of
Slow now.
the little town here to begin with. This is where we should have gone. Those, I believe, are just going to be wild dogs. Yep. Ideally, we would just speed on past them because we don't really need to be doing anything with them. Except they insist. They are largely just a waste of time at this stage, though, I think. I believe once we started going further north here, we ran into a series of neckers, and then we found the area that we were looking for.
Whoa there, Roach.
So at this point, it's probably worth taking a closer look on our map. We're getting there. A little further north. Could potentially go straight northeast from here. We can find a way to make that happen. Those are definitely neckers. They're surprisingly fast. I mean, I'm not sprinting with Roach right now. Okay, but I'm pretty sure this is our spot. Oh, I was gonna turn around and fight you. You ran away. Okay. Let's save here. And by save, I mean resume, and press the wrong menu button, and then go back and press the save button. Now, let's see. Thought it was... I mean, this looks like something. I don't remember being here before. Like some kind of camp. Oh, well, it's on the edge of... I think what was Nilfgaardian camp over there, so that does make some sense. The actual place we're looking for, though... Or is it relative to this? Could be close. We actually went too far north. Wow! It should be showing up on our map, this indicator, but it has not been doing too many favors for us. We actually need to go south. Need to go... other direction, was it? East, I think, a little bit? Like along the water here. Ish. Maybe below this hideout, I would think. Let's continue to check our map, because we've gone in the wrong direction many times. Yeah, it's over here. Headed in the right direction. So again, this should be, I believe, a level 14 enemy that we have not yet fought. I don't know really what it is. I think this is it, though. Yep, this is definitely it. What are you? 15, it seems. Build tag. That is also very little damage that we are dealing to at the moment. I remember that hit us. That dealt half of our health in damage. Which leads me to believe this may still be too soon for us. Perhaps a better weapon, perhaps, because we were dealing almost no damage. Perhaps better armor. But mostly it seems like it's being overall a bit stronger, which is a bit disappointing, given how we were, of course, making a bit of a point to get back here. But we'll take out that frustration on the Neckers. Unfortunately, they're level 6, though. So we're going to get experience penalty against them. It is a little odd to me. The amount that the monster levels range, even when you're so close by. Like, okay, sure. 6 to 15 is not a huge range. But not far from here, we were fighting, like, enemies in the single digits, and then we went to a guarded treasure and saw a level 70-something, like, what was it? A Slizzard? Or, no, Basilisk, I think? Yeah, we've definitely fought these drowners before, but we'll fight them again, because they are over here, and they are in our way. Kinda, technically, not really, but we're gonna do it anyway, because we can. There are a lot of them. And that also was not a sound that I was aware that drowners would make. Made me a little concerned for a minute there. I was like, did one of the drowners turn into a dragon? Then I would start to get worried. That's disturbing. Just push it out into the water. Kind of gross. Anyways, take the loot. Okay, and what we ought to do here, I think is we probably would be best served to try to use another teleport. Fast travel. Basically, head back down to the inn at the crossroads. and make our way back over to... Could be Lindenvale. I think it's probably going to be Lindenvale. It could be Blackbow. But we've done things west of Blackbow. So I feel like... I mean, I suppose if we want to, like, get closer to fully completing areas, then maybe Blackbow is better for that reason. And we go a little bit east, check out this question mark. Maybe explore these woods here. Don't know what the deal is with the round dots there. Potentially south of Blackbow, that could be an option as well. So I don't know what to expect in either location, so I don't have reason to prefer one over the other. But either way, we will have to head back to a fast travel location. So we have a little bit of time to think it over.
That's it, Roach.
More monsters over here. Actually, oh, hold on. I do remember that we saw a bandit camp over here, and yet it didn't seem like we officially cleared it out, despite having defeated all the bandits here. We are here again, and maybe it will actually say that we're done with it this time around. I mean, we looted it too, I think. Okay. Or maybe we missed this. It would seem like we might have. That, I'm pretty sure, is a potion of some variety. One that might be quite good. Any other loot that we might have missed? Stuff up there? There's probably the wolves that keep on trying to follow us. Well, obviously the loot from the guys we just fought. Okay. Let's take a quick look, actually. So... well, we could upgrade a Bloom Mutagen. Sure. Why not? Get another greater Bloom Mutagen. Green mutagen. I do like the green mutagens for the life. But that's just a normal red. Oh, we don't have much in the way of red mutagens. It seems like blue has been very common. Green, somewhere in the middle, and then red has been fairly rare. I'm just curious if we have anything else that we have the ability to craft here that we have not yet done. That's for... several things that we're very close to being able to use. Ooh, werewolf decoction. Would use our werewolf mutagen, but I assume that this is one of the most applicable things to use that mutagen on. What does it do? Running, sprinting, and jumping outside combat does not use stamina. Convenient, yes. Necessary? Definitely not. I don't know if there are other, uses for that werewolf mutagen, in which case maybe it is worth holding on to it. If not, then sure, use it, but this seems like it is definitely a good thing for us to make, the White Wrapper's decoction, which is the thing that we just found out how to make. Immediately restores a portion of vitality. That, yeah, seems quite good. Let's make it. Sweet. Okay, and then as for crafting stuff, I mean, this is kind of a different story, right? It's only blacksmiths can forge, and armorers can craft armor. And we are not currently standing in front of either of those types of people. So we're just gonna have to wait. But the potion should be very nice. These are the wild dogs. Okay. Just keep going, Roach. Just keep going. Zoom away. No big deal. Okay, I think town is right over here. Yeah. So we should be able to fast travel. and take your pick as to which direction we ought to go in, which town we ought to visit. We could theoretically see if we could just offload some stuff. Trading to this guy.
Change? Wouldn't mind a drink. Show me what you got.
Because it seems like, you know, since vendors only have a limited amount of money, that it is worthwhile, or at least can be, worthwhile to sell some things to people if and when you get the chance to walk past them. Silver pantaloons. Can we actually dismantle this into silver? Do the silver pantaloons actually have silver in them, or is that solely aesthetic silver, not actually, you know, the substance, the element of silver? White bear hide. Sure, we could probably break this into materials, but for 41 coins, seems like that is more than worthwhile to sell. Deer hide, similar. Fox hide is not terribly valuable, so you might be able to make a case that is worthwhile to turn that stuff into components. Okay. And this guy won't buy much else from us. So farewell.
Thanks. Farewell.
Okay, now let's head back over. Which one will it be? I don't know. Flip a coin. Blackbow. Lindenvale. You know, I actually think that Blackbow, it looks like it has less going on around it, which I think is actually a good thing for what we're trying to do right now. Slash, we have done more in this area. Because, like we were saying before, that'll give us a little bit more of a sense that we have done everything that we need to do in a given area.
This be the Witchman.
Okay, and I think the direction relative to town that we ought to go is either east, check out this question mark, or south, over here. And there's actually a fair ways south that we could go, so that's a little bit of, well, potentially something that could lead us into a lot of other things. So I think let's start east. Keep it simple for now.
More interesting things from my nose.
Yeah. Should be over here somewhere. We could mark this on the mini-map if we'd like. Might be a little bit helpful. I think we have not gone east of Blackbow really at all. Well, southeast, yes. That's how we got here initially, but this is looking like, yup, good old bandit camp. Okay, sevens. Looks decent. Ow. That startled me. For some reason, did not occur to me that they might have a bowman. Crossbowman. I wasn't even trying to swing my sword at that guy, and we took him out. So that was cool. That everybody? I thought I just heard someone. But, okay. Ooh. Master-crafted silver sword. That sounds pretty good. Beast oil, also. Sounds like that'll be very helpful to us. I don't know. New alchemy formula? Yeah, okay. For a second, it looked like we might have already had that. It's the fish. Assume it's edible. This tech, okay, well, we know what they were up to. Okay, well, let's explore the house. See if there's anything inside here. That's a little disorienting. Sorry for that. Whatever this is. Pepper? It's like peppercorn. I suppose is... Well. Ooh. Okay, more leather, more coal. This is probably, what, our 60th water at this point? Anything else in and around this area? I'm trying to just hop. That's what I'm trying to do. Seems like that's probably it, unless we missed anything here. I don't think we did. I think for the most part, we're just looking at pretty stock standard weapons that those guys had. And they were level 7, so I think that was pretty good timing there, because we are level 7 right now, and fairly long way along the way toward 8. So we could continue going further east rather than west as we are starting to head. I feel like might be the best route. We have not tried going north of whatever city this is. I don't know if Crow's Perch is actually the name of it. Verisad, the previous owner, panicked at the news that armies were approaching and fled to Pike Isle. This castle became home to Philip Strenger, alias the Bloody Baron, along with his family and entourage. Okay, so this is where the Bloody Baron lives, supposedly. I'm intrigued by this. I want to check that out. No idea what we will find. Maybe it'll end up being way too high level for us. Who knows? I certainly do not. Let's mark it, though. I already see the fork in the road, and I'm like, which way are we supposed to go? The answer is down the middle, apparently. I mean, there's gotta be something here. There's no way there isn't. It looks too different. Be nothing. There is a sort of a path. Oh. Okay. That's something. Let's save here. After having explored a bit, fought off a few bandits, and made our way over to wherever this is. Huh. Oh dear. Okay. Looks like that Igni? Yeah, that's Igni. We burn them all. That probably triggers something. Likely makes it spawn here, and it's probably some superpowered golem. Based on the stones here would be my guess. And I would assume that it is probably way more powerful than we are, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. Let's test it out. I'm guessing we're gonna get ourselves way in over our heads, but only one way to know for sure. I'm pretty sure I missed. Okay. I've lit those 3. I have to step into the middle of this clearing, which is clearly a boss encounter of some variety. Is there, like, a big one up here? Woven Blade. Oh. Well. It is a fast travel location. I suppose is, well, maybe a little bit convenient because like halfway between wherever this is and Blackbow, but there's nothing else over here. And besides parkour opportunities, then it is, well, not quite what I was expecting. Now, granted, that would suggest that there are wolves here at times, and I don't see any at the moment, but perhaps at midnight, or at night in general, there might be some, because we did find some wolves in Blackbow. But, let's see, from a quest standpoint, from a secondary quest standpoint, I'm actually not seeing too much here. I think we head back. Teleport, probably use the fast travel to Blackbow. We'll just explore the woods here a little bit more. Yeah, because we could go through here. Maybe explore a little bit further, but we'll probably end up doubling back because I don't expect to find much. don't think it's large enough of an area, or an area that has enough of note from a geological standpoint to suggest that there's something we might be missing here. So I think we'll head back. It is starting to get
Storm,
dark.
damn it.
I do see those bats or whatever. So maybe, if something is going to happen here, we might be close to seeing that go down. I suppose, sure. Let's meditate for a little while longer. See if, this place becomes infested with werewolves, and by lighting all those fires, we've attracted them. Could be the case. I'm not sure. But only one way to find out for certain. Go to midnight? I mean, surely if the werewolves are coming, they would come at midnight, right? Hello? Hello, werewolves? Anyone home? Perhaps you want to go to this dramatic altar in the middle here, next to all the blazing fires? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe we'll learn more about this place later on, and we're jumping the gun. I suppose that could also be the case. I don't know. But seems a little bit uninspiring at the moment. Let's head back to Blackbow, and maybe we'll check this area down here, and I'm not sure if we want to go as far south as this. But we'll at least see if we find anything in the woods directly south of here. I think we want to go not this way, but this way. I don't think we've been in this direction either, or at least not much. Just keeping our eyes peeled a bit. Okay, that's probably going to be a pack of wolves, based on the sound effect I'm hearing, and based on the quantity I'm seeing over there. That's not particularly interesting. Yeah. Well, those do look like wolves rather than wild dogs, which is perhaps slightly better. Didn't we find a large pack of wolves in this area earlier? I think they were level 5, though, which is still not really enough to be terribly worthwhile for us, I don't think. Probably also wolves? No. Something over here. Are these wolves? It's something. Warg, that's 8. That is something. Warg could definitely be higher than the wolves. Yeah, it is. Warg is supposed to be the strongest. I would rather be on Quinn, quite frankly. Okay, there we go. Can I just maybe get rid of one or two of you? Would be nice. What are you doing?
Come on, come closer.
Not sure what that was all about. There's still one left, I think. Yep. Okay, so yeah, that probably won't do much for us, because we're just gonna continue to collect raw meat, and if there is one thing that we have more of than water, I believe it is likely raw meat. The wolf's liver, that might be slightly more useful to us. Suppose we actually have several of those that we saw. We're just hoping for something a little more, perhaps. Yeah, we have 77 raw meat. So we did wander a little bit here, but we are definitely south of Blackbow, as we were aiming to go, and maybe a little bit further east as well. And certainly we've been here by the monster den. Yes, monster nest. Maybe this little bit of water here might be a good stopping point. Let's try it. Somewhere in that general area. Now, this looks particularly significant. This tree. You know, like, seems as if it's right in the middle. All the paths lead down here. Maybe it's not special, though. I don't know. Now, if we go east, we're going to find ourselves going up against another wolf pack, it would seem. Yup. Which, again, I mean, especially after having just fought one, I'm not sure how avoidable it is at this stage, but... yeah, we ran out of stamina. Well... And it would help if I faced them, probably. If we are gonna fight. Admittedly, I did not see you. You were blending in quite well. None of that. There is still one more, theoretically. I don't really feel so inclined as to track it down. There we go. Okay. That stuff taken care of. Is this another wolf pack? No, it is not. Okay. There we go. A little bit different this time. Are these bandits guarding anything in particular, or are they just random bandits hanging out here? I don't really know. It doesn't seem like there's much here. So... yeah. I mean... a little bit of variety with the loot. It's not raw meat. But it doesn't look like they're holding on to nuggets of gold either. I think this is... maybe the little body of water that we were referring to, but this looks a little bit big for that. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's further south than we were perhaps anticipating that we might go. Or, well, at least if we were targeting that. Loosely. So we could still go further east. Obviously, this could be something as well. I don't know. Let's see, this is east. Yep, and those are trees, in case you didn't know. We may want to go slightly further north, but we are still fairly hurt, so I'll consume one of our bazillion raw meats. More enemies here. Neckers? At least here. Couldn't tell there. I mean, they are kind of very much in our way. I'm assuming, yeah, still level 6. The level in which we found most of the other Neckers. So nothing out of the ordinary about these guys. We have seen a Super Necker once or twice. Not sure if we're necessarily ready for those quote-unquote Super Neckers. But hey, if you guys drop, yeah, more mutagens, then that is quite alright with me. That will be fine. It does seem as though you guys consistently have pretty solid loot. This would be further north. This would be further east. Are the two directions in which we kind of want to go. What are you? Another Necker. Get out of here. We don't need you. But we will take your loot. Okay, so this is the little mini lake, or whatever it happens to be, that we were referring to as our target location. I don't know how much of that we have. But now we have some. As for these enemies up here, I thought I saw, see if we can tell based on the sound what they might be. I think I'm hearing Necker. Pretty sure those are more Neckers. Which, yeah, Don't feel like we need to fight them. Unless they're, like, insisting that we fight them. It's his idea, not mine. Okay? I had nothing to do with it. I think let's try checking out the little house. Otherwise, I would say that we're coming up a little bit dry when it comes to exploring these areas down here. I would have thought that we would find a little bit more of the hidden encounters. I mean, yes, we did find bandits, is probably the closest thing. But it's not like it was technically a bandit camp, even. It was just a few bandits and nothing more. Alright, well, certainly fair share of wolf packs. No shortage of those. Let's double check the map at this point. Yes, now we would go further south. Basically due south if we were looking for this building. So let's give that a shot. There's a tree we were curious about, but didn't seem to have all that much of note. Somewhat surprisingly. And the house should be fairly close, I would have thought. Yeah, okay. This little path will take us there. Can I read that? No. Just follow this. It's right here. Okay. What do we have here? Besides purple plants. I don't know. Little garden. There are enemies further away, but not immediately seeing anything to suggest that this is a dangerous location, actually. If anything, it seems like this might be somewhere where someone lives, although it is locked. Assuming we can take it. Okay, I don't want to go too much further south, because I think at that point we're going to be delving well into uncharted territory, and I don't think we want to do that much. We have to draw the line somewhere. These are just drowners. I was curious to see what they were. Just wanted to see mostly if they were higher level enemies of some variety that might have been worth checking out. Drowners, though, he got nothing on us. Theoretically, there's one more enemy over there. It's almost wolf-like. The way it was standing. I don't think it's a drowner. No, it is a drowner. I take it back. Like now, for example, we're crossing a river, and I don't even know where we are at this point. So, I think we'll probably want to double back. Let's double check. Unless... yeah... this is kind of an area, well... we could go here, explore this spot, and maybe ultimately even make our way back to Lindenvale? Honestly, I'm not sure. But since it seemed like we didn't get much when we were going off the path, maybe if we deliberately stay a little more on the path and go toward some of those areas that seem to have houses, we can see what we might run into. And there are some milk guardians here.
Is it true? Northern women bathe but once every 3 moons.
What is this place? Wastrel Manor. Sounds like you got a lovely place here, then. Looks like it's mostly just a lumberjack camp. Not much else. I'm curious what's over here. And, you know, maybe, like, not throwing punches. would help us get up here. I mean, yes, obviously it's a watchtower, but I was intrigued.
Make way.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. How did we not break every bone in our body? I don't know. Yeah, so it mostly seems like it's just a fast travel location and not much else, unless there are people we'll talk to elsewhere. I mean, we could loot this stuff from these guys, which is probably not going to end well for us. Like, is there anyone to talk to here? No? Oh. Yeah? Fast travel, yes. Not much else, though. We want to take this northern road or this southern road? Northern one will take us back to where we have been. Could actually go further south, but... Sure, let's go south. Let's check that place out. We will head this way. I was hesitant to go too far south because it seems like that in particular, there's not a clear delineation. There's not an obvious, like, oh, okay, stop right here. That is a good stopping point. Not sure what that is. Maybe those are wolves. Sounded kind of like wolves. Just wasn't sure if this wreckage was going to be guarded by monsters or not. I do hear these. I swear exactly, I don't know. Huh? Yes, I mean, it is wreckage. Huh? What is that sign? I don't know what that means. Huh? I don't know what to make of that. Little swirly symbol. Don't think we've seen that before. It seems like that might be the primary thing
Howling.
about this area. Although there is this. Ooh, okay, some gauntlets. New potion as well, and boots that I recognize the name, Hunter's boots. Are they better than the ones that we're currently wearing? No. Answer would be no. But they do have a socket, but still, probably not. As for that decoction, let us see. Oh, actually, we can now do a green mutagen. That is nice. Guess we got one from one of those neckers. Griffin decoction. Oh, we did see this before. Because we obviously got the Griffin mutagen back when we fought the Griffin. Did we only just recently get our only Brionia, though? Taking damage raises damage resistance to an upper limit for the remainder of the fight. I mean, sure, the Brionia is... Brionia, however you say it, is a limited resource, yes, as is the Griffin mutagen. I would think that if we do happen to fight more Griffins in the future, which, yes, the first one that we fought was a bit of a boss, but I anticipate that there will be more in the future, that we won't be blowing through our only Griffin mutagen ever to make this, so let's give it a shot. Werewolf decoction, that one I'm not as sure about. I mean, I think we'd probably run into additional werewolves too. But okay, now we have the recipe for the beast oil, and I think this will be very helpful for us because 10 additional attack power versus beasts. I'm pretty sure there are many beasts that we could theoretically use that against. I think we only just recently got that crafting recipe. So that's pretty great. As for what else is over here, I don't know, man. Seems like it's mostly that rubble that maybe we can reanimate into a golem or something. I'm not really sure. Those are wolves. Don't worry about them. So in that case... Oh! Random traveling merchant over here. Maybe if we're quick, we can cut him off on the path. Still get the chance to trade with him. This path? Something tells me it was not this little path. What town is this? Seems like we've been here. Peasant?
When will you return, my son?
Let's not wait for me, Mom.
What is
I'll
this
be back
indicator?
when we're done.
Who are you?
Will you take to harvest and build
Play Witch.
father dead?
Me saviour. Greetings to
Huh?
you. So, in for a share?
Oh, it's the guy that we rescued who said he would give us a free haircut. I don't know, what are we thinking? Haircut? Beard? I don't know. Maybe the haircut, maybe the beard. Yeah, let's go haircut. Excuse me? It still costs us coins? I thought we rescued you? And you were grateful for us having rescued you? I don't care if that is a discount, I am offended.
So long.
I am offended.
Mum said if I'm good, she'll send me a treat of treats.
Okay, so... By the order of the commander of Nilfgaardian Army Group Center Camp, the residents of Claywitch and Oraton, we have not seen... Or Oraton? We've not seen Oraton, obviously we're in Claywitch right now, are hereby ordered to report to the Wastrel Manor to perform labor for the Empire. We have seen Wastrel Manor. Oh, okay, yes, we did pass by that location. Lists of designated residents and their assigned days of service have been given to the aldermen. Those caught evading their duties shall be flogged. Now...
Don't hit me, sir.
Alright. Didn't really intend to. Could enhance our weapons there. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were on the other side of that door now. Granted, is it my fault for bursting into your home unannounced? No. Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. I'll step on your bed if I want to. You can't stop me.
Gods have turned from us.
Hey. That's, one way to look at things. So yeah, we'll just poke our head into all the doors. I think we just accidentally looted this sack rather than going through this door, because apparently no one can get through this door. I don't believe anyone is chasing after us for having taken some wires. Fortunately. I tried to jump over that. Apparently we cannot jump over that. I'm a little disappointed that we cannot play the barber at Gwent. That would have been an appropriate reward for having rescued him, I would think. Key guide. Have we seen that before? I feel like we have. Okay. That may very well... Oh, not quite be everything. Take a dried fish, thank you. That, I'm pretty sure, is everything. Nope. You a special person? No, you're just another henchman. Seems like, for the most part, another quiet town without much going on. Unless... No, this is the house we can get into. Okay. What else is over here then? If we continue going north, we will find our way back into the main city over there. If we go east, my guess is we'll find that this town is the other one that they named in that notice. Oh, the shopkeeper is on his way. That is the person we were trying to meet on the path over here. Maybe he will play us a Quint. Or at least have some interesting things to trade with us.
The youngins, at least, don't let them go hungry.
Assuming that he actually exists, which may or may not be true. Hello? Good sir? Do you exist? Thought you were over here. Have you ghosted me? I have gone in the wrong direction. Apparently there was another path. We'll get him. We'll find him. Right as he hits town. We'll beat him there.
The youngins, at least, don't let them go hungry.
Did we think we might have? I don't see him yet. Theoretically, he'd be coming down this way. There he is. You weren't even gonna head into town. How dare you?
Greetings.
Greetings. We don't.
Wouldn't mind a look at your stock.
Fine, we'll just take a look at his stock and we'll sell him some stuff. Maybe. Possibly if we even have anything. We did pick up this chest plate recently. And it is slightly worse than our current chest plate. Let's sell that. Did pick up these boots recently as well. Also a little bit worse. We'll sell those. I don't remember why we were holding on to these these shirts. We may have just happened to pick them up. They are worth a little bit. So I suppose we can just sell them. Okay. And then one thing that I was thinking recently. Oh, split bolt. Ooh, nifty. Okay. Is that these crossbow bolts, they do have weight to them. So that is
Farewell.
potentially something that could weigh us down significantly if we're not careful. I wonder what's over there. That looks like a bridge. That is to the south, though. No, that's to the north. Not this bridge here? I was expecting that to actually be this city. Seemed like that was only the type of infrastructure that you would see in a large city. Maybe not. Let's check out this area here and then these question marks here. We should probably actually put those as markers. Theoretically. Let's make it, I don't know, that one? Something like that. And these two cities are actually quite close. I don't think it'll take us long to get there. Especially, if we call on a certain someone to help us out. Oh, Roach? Why, hello there. Okay, fine. We'll follow the path if you insist. And walk through trees, because we can, apparently.
Slow now. Whoa.
Just making sure we're not missing anything over to the sides here, but we seem to be good in. Yeah. Next town over? Quite close, although... Is it? Are those huge brick buildings part of this town? That's something else. Because if so, this is a way bigger city. No, this has got to be the main city. Right? We must have gone in the wrong direction. Yeah. I was gonna say, that is way too built up to be this. Why was our quest indicator saying it's over here, though? I think our quest indicator is probably still tracking the main quest, so even our Our little indicators not doing as much good. Not at the moment, it would seem. Yes.
Hey there.
Have we checked out this little building? I don't know if we have. Possibly. Possibly not. Also, not sure that we can actually get in here without breaking our ankles, at least. It's locked, and also we are floating / flying. Okay. So, I don't know if we are technically supposed to go left road or the right road. We definitely want to go south. I feel like this might have been the house where we ran into, or very close to the house where we ran into that guy that tried to fight us earlier. Talking about Maid Bilberry. I think we've tried breaking this down. Yeah, I think we've been here before. Let's head further south, I think. That will be the way. Probably this path as well. Actually, not even. South and slightly west. Which, admittedly, when my compass is pointed south, I have to reverse engineer that a little bit. Roller vibrating. I think it was just because we were running out of stamina there. Boatman's Hut. Okay. Is this the town that we're looking for? Possibly? No. But it is. Oh, it is actually the area that had the 2 question marks. So it is notable. We're looking for it. Usually abandoned site, yeah, means that there are enemies here. And we need to clear them out in order for people to re-inhabit the location. That looked like an owl ghoul. Or maybe a strong ghoul? Strong ghoul. Okay. We can deal with you. That's no problem. And what are you doing? Getting taken out is the answer. Okay. Hello, friend. You could not dodge us? That'd be lovely. And Geralt, if you could keep that sword out. Something tells me we're gonna have a little more use of that thing. Now, don't break our point shield. Means we can actually get hurt. That is not the objective. Maybe for you, but not for us. Okay. Was there something here? Ooh, parsley. Okay. Theoretically, the monster den is right here.
Just destroy it.
Should have some explosives because we were meditating not long ago. Now, will ghouls appear as soon as this explodes? Possibly. Yes, it will. The ghoul just pops out of the nest. We actually saw it happen that time, but we only theorized in the past.
Lost your nerve?
Yeah, man. All right. It's kind of a double there. Double whammy. Monster Nest plus Abandoned Site. And apparently enough experience to get us up to level 8. Okay. Because it gave us 120. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, I remember I was surprised last time we cleared out one of these abandoned sites as well. It gave us a ton of experience then. Let's take a quick peek at our quests, because having leveled up, that does mean that if there's anything in the 8 to 9 range, then we should definitely make a point of targeting that next, like Level 10, Defender of the Faith, is now probably something that we should make a point of getting to. And as for our skill point that we just got, one thing that was intriguing me... Oh, actually, whoa, we got another slot. That's huge. Being able to use another skill. Upgrading the Quen could be very nice. Can we still do that? We need additional points in this branch. Means could improve our Yurden sign. We could improve our Axie sign. Heart does not move towards Geralt while he's... Oh, yeah, so when you're trying to stun / mind control people, normally they would be approaching you and potentially try to hit you as you're doing that, which is a little tricky because that means you have to do it from far enough away and with enough time to spare that you're not going to get whacked on the head. Also increases the effectiveness of Axie in dialogues. Okay. That sounds like that could be very helpful. I think we give that a shot. Yeah. Let's try throwing that on here. Now, granted, with our extra ability slot, we could potentially replace something with strong back. Give ourselves some more inventory space. It's not much of a concern right now because we're only on 42 out of 60 weight, but it gives us a little more flexibility. Let's see. This merchant has to say after we have now freed him,
Wouldn't mind a look at your
or at least
stock.
given a place to re-inhabit. Pure silver. If it didn't cost 86 coins, I would say that might be an interesting thing for us to try to pick up. I don't really think there's much else for us to talk to him about, unfortunately. We have, well, recently visited a merchant. We do have a ton of some of these crafting materials. Oliero, I don't even remember where we got this stuff, but apparently we have a ton of it. Now, we shouldn't sell all of it, I'm assuming, but I don't know. Just give him a bit. Take a little bit off of it. Well, the sliver is not so valuable. Dog tallow, we have a ton of that as well. And so, you know, selling one of these things that we have a bunch of, it's not going to be a huge deal. But if we are to say, ooh, that's worth 5 apiece. That is something. If we're to combine some of these together and sell them, you know, sell all of them collectively, then we might find ourselves a few hundred coins richer. Except, got a little carried away there. Merchant does not have that many coins. Unless we were to buy something from him, like, maybe it is worth picking up the silver, because I think we saw crafting silver weapons will require some silver. This would be 172 if we were to buy all of it off of him. I would check to see just how much. Well, I mean, we could do some math. 5 times... what, 40 would get us up to 200? Which would be more than enough for this, and I think that's, given how much quantity we have and how likely we are to continue to get Ghoul's Blood, I think that's a fine thing for us to do. Let's buy a couple of those. Gives us the option to, if we could swap back over to different set of options here. Sell that Ghoul Blood. Make up for that purchase. Now, where did it go? Great question. It has reshuffled on us. For whatever reason. Also, how valuable are the mutagens? Not very. I mean, if you take, like, the blue mutagens, for example, where we have a ton of them, still almost valueless. Unfortunate. Unfortunate, but good to know. Those are worth 6? This is only worth 1? Well, that actually has a substance in it that is an alcoholic beverage, whereas this is just quite literally an empty bottle. So I suppose that makes sense. But where did our ghoul blood go? I know it was over here somewhere. You can't fool me. Did it go over to the left? Left side? Or we could sell some other stuff instead? Like some of our bazillion white myrtle petals? I don't know. We'll just do a little bit. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. There we go. And now we've made the shopkeeper broke again. On net, we have
Farewell.
still gained coins, but we picked up some silver along the way, so I think that'll be helpful. As for whether there's anything else of value in here, the blunt axe, I think, is something that you can turn into crafting materials along with the nails. It is, I think, something that has a little bit of weight to it, so it's not something that I really want to be stockpiling too much of. Doesn't seem like it's the most weight efficient.
Son, I'll name him Garrett.
Oh, thanks, man. Now, I assume we can probably loot these, because I mean, like, who's gonna stop us? Not that it's terribly valuable for us to have taken that stuff, but now we know. Okay, and now I think we head west to the actual town that we were expecting to go to. And it is the path that is slightly north of here. Not this one. Maybe this one. And that should take us there. We'll see what we find there. These small towns, they have not had much going on. They have been, I mean, in some cases, they've been even less significant than the town that we... I hesitate to say town, but the abandoned site that we just allowed people to re-inhabit. This looks like something. If there's nothing here. There's definitely a pack of wolves over there. That much is clear. However, don't see that as something that is of particularly high importance at the moment. It does seem like we've gone awfully far to the west here, and I would have thought we would have hit town by now. Because we are, in fact, going south of it. We go straight north of here. Should get there, though. Because that is it. You guys, quite elusive.
Here. It stinks of carrion. Not good.
Uh-oh. See the red dots, obviously. Algol question mark on the level. That doesn't sound good. Can we save? Is it too late? Okay, now let's investigate. That is, we've never seen that before, right? Never seen the question marks on the level?
Great.
So how do we figure out what level it is? I'm assuming we're gonna hit it, and it's gonna, yeah, like one-shot us. Probably means that it is insanely powerful, and that's another example of, that's really odd, because we were fighting, I mean, there are wolves around there that are level 5, we just cleared the abandoned site there that was, what, level 9 ghouls? Why are there owl ghouls that are, who knows how many levels higher in that location? That doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Now, obviously, yes, it varies a little bit place by place. That does make sense, but, that just seems like a huge, huge step up. I mean, we don't even know what level that thing was, but I can only imagine if we saw something in the 70s, like, if the way that the question marks work is that you are, that means that it is too high for you to know. We are also, like, right next to this guy, so we should maybe back up. If the question mark means that the enemy is so strong that you don't even know how powerful it is, it's just way above your level, and we saw a level 70-something monster, then that means these guys are presumably higher than that. Which means that they are, you know, like, at least 70 levels higher than everything else in this area. I'll give you 10, maybe I'll even give you 20. That still seems like a stretch. But 70, that seems like that is far out. Okay, and so that means that we could head over east here to those question marks there, or that question mark there, and maybe this one as well. But otherwise, not sure I want to be headed into this new town, which is presumably quite large and has the Baron in it. Well, maybe we do. Let's try out one more question mark first. I think will take us, I mean, this is like almost toward town, but we go east from here. We've seen that house, yes. If we keep going. So yeah, it seems like we've been pushing the limits here a little bit in terms of exploring the wilderness and trying to find random encounters, things that are not necessarily showing up on the minimap from the get-go. And you know, when we were in, what was it, White Orchard, it seemed like there was quite a few of those. Whenever you were going into a wooded area of some variety, you could be pretty certain that you were going to find something there. Whereas here, it feels like we've been exploring fairly large areas and coming up with, well, not much on a few occasions. Here, is this just a large, empty area? I saw something that looked a little brighter over here. I think it's just a reflection on the water. Guarded treasure. Let's see, now, this might be the question mark that we were anticipating that we'd run into. It is. Okay. How guarded are we talking about? I'd say probably roughly as guarded as that Slizzard or Basilisk that we were referring to earlier. Now I am curious as to what level it is. We know how this ends though. So maybe, you know, we just drop one of those and see for certain. This is what we should have done. Only 14. Huh. Maybe we'll be okay. Possibly. We did see the level 15 guarded treasure before, and that was a little bit out of our league. We hit this guy with a crossbow bolt, 2 crossbow bolts in advance. So you know we're gonna get this done. Probably not. But we'll give it a shot. Can you actually fly? Also, it is a little discouraging when we hit you with a couple of attacks and it deals basically no damage. And your attack dealt half of our life. Dealt damage for half of our life. It does seem like, yeah, maybe if we had better gear, we could get that done, and that would be another reason for us to invest in a better, I mean, our silver sword is better than our steel sword right now. That is something, but these are mostly just neckers. It does look like there might be other stuff over here, though. We are still hurt in that fight. Be a little careful. Previous fight, that is. There's the freeze. I haven't seen much of that. Oh, you. Enough of that. Back to the munitions. And yeah, so what I think probably makes the most sense at this point is for us to go back to focusing. I wanted to see if we could loot it. Well, I stepped on it. I'm sorry. We might want to go back to things that are, marked definitively on our quest list. Because, yeah, I've been, to be totally honest, a little underwhelmed with the lack of things that we've run into in this area. It may just be that Velen is huge, so it's really spread out. I didn't realize it actually tells you which type of plant you'll run into on the map. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could target picking up a specific type. I don't know. But yeah, I think it probably makes sense for us in this case to, instead of wander around aimlessly and hope that we happen across something, instead be a little more targeted, a little more directed in our approach. Yeah. We have been here. This is presumably the path we took when we were going from Lindenvale down to Crow's Perch into Blackbow. So I think, well, we could... Let's try this question mark, because it is close by. And we know that there will be something there, based on how there is a question mark there. It's not completely blind. But then, depending on what we see there, obviously, something we can do, then we'll do it. Farmlands, it seems. Monster nest. What kind of monster nest? Ooh, that seems to be level 7, level 9. Okay. Yeah, that's a good fit. Get over here, guys. Alright, preferably just one of you, but... Yeah, the more the merrier. We'll make a party out of it. Oh, we are still very hurt from the previous fight, though. I should have probably downed some food in advance of this, or we can, theoretically, we could meditate in between. Yeah, nice try. See you trying to sneak up behind us like that. I would also love if you would actually not dodge us, though, and let us, land a hit or two. You are healing, which is not cool. Don't do that. Against the rules. Strictly forbidden. When I hit you, you take damage for good. Like, that guy is one of the ones that we had pretty low. Now he is back to effectively full HP. You know we don't plan on anymore, but I really want to finish this guy off first, so that he doesn't go back to being at full HP. Yeah, nice try. I saw that coming a mile away. Now, granted, the camera is pointed in the opposite direction a little harder. We got you guys. Alright, let's destroy the nest before any of them start coming back. Could still have an explosive on us, because I think we usually have them in rounds too. There might be one that pops out of the nest as soon as it explodes. Is that the case this time? It is not. Okay. Oh, I forgot on the previous monster nest, possibly even 2. I forgot to loot it. Forgot that that is very much a thing. Got that one, obviously. But we might have missed something in the previous ones. And in the past, when we tried to go back to old monster nests that we had cleared out previously, by the time we got back there, the loot at the nest itself was gone. Granted, that was a long, long time in between having done that. Now, that would be Boatmaker's Hut, I think is the one that I'm thinking of in particular. It's close enough that we could potentially double back there and then use that fast travel to go back to whatever location we need to go to get our next quest going. I think that might be the way to go. There's a small chance that we may still be able to get that loot, and this would be the time to do it. And Roach, you can help us make that a little bit quicker.
Roach.
So I think it's mostly due south. If this tree would let us do that. Might even be able to just follow this path. I don't think so. I think we've been here before, although that does seem notable. Yeah, I think we have. This is the path that leads straight into Crow's Perch. Okay, yeah, so we go south. Oh no, actually, we don't want to go to that garden treasure. Yeah, more or less straight south. We're on good pace.
Let's go.
Finding a path that takes us due south. Now that may or may not exist. And hopefully, we will still be able to pick up that loot, and hopefully it'll be half decent and be worth us picking it up. If not, then so be it. We'll use that as a fast travel point to get ourselves back over to where we want to be.
Whoa there,
I don't remember that bridge, though. Oh. There's a quest available here. I'm not sure if we knew that previously. We are very close to Boatmaker's Hut, though. So let's do that first. Yeah, it's right here. And then we'll investigate what that quest is. Based on how far away we are from everything else, I suspect that there is a non-zero chance that it could be a fairly high-level quest that we pick up there, but we'll give it a shot. Okay. Is there anything here still? There is not. Okay, unfortunate. I'm pretty sure I forgot to loot it. Maybe I did remember, but I am highly skeptical. So let's go check out this quest in that case. Equipment is definitely a little bit broken. For sure. It is very broken. Absolutely. So when we do fight, like the 14 and 15 guys, we probably could... Oh, you guys are bandits. Hold on.
Oh, look.
We probably could take out the 14 and 15 guys if we upgraded or repaired our
Not
gear.
about to buy anything from you.
And that might be next on our
You're
list.
mistaken. If we're to let you pass, you gotta pay.
And if I don't?
Then you die.
So the thing is, I don't necessarily want to cross this bridge right now. That takes us even further south, and I think that is probably where I would definitely draw the line as to where we ought to stop exploring randomly and instead just focus on working on the quests at hand. So I would prefer to fight these guys.
See this
Actually,
medallion?
assuming they're
Gaffer.
fightable.
Gaffer. Shut it, Soulback. Now I see it. We didn't mean no...
Recognize the guild?
Aye, Master. Forgive us for not remarking on it earlier. Please. Gaffer. Gaffer.
This is a trap.
Now listen. Might pass through again someday. Don't know when. But when I do, I don't want to run into you. That clear?
As are summer's day, my lord. Godspeed. you
Hands
on
behind your
path.
back, though. The thing is, I really
Gaffer.
don't want to go through here right now.
Shut
So
it.
my guess is we are going to encounter them next time around, and they will actually try to fight us. Yeah. So what I think we'll do now is we will check out. We maybe should have done this earlier, but you know, we were focusing on just exploring the area and seeing if there were any unexpected quests or other things going on in the wilderness that we didn't know about. But now that we have done a lot of that, I think we will target Defender of the Faith, which sounds like a silly quest, fixing all the shrines, but it does tell us that we are technically supposed to be level 10. No, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the map and see where we are technically supposed to go get these things. Oh, those are the other indicators that we've dropped. What? Okay, they are way over. This one's. Is this still pretty? This is still pretty far, isn't it? Wastrel Manor. Which. That's not super far. It is the furthest west we've gone by a pretty large margin still, but this one seems even further in the middle of nowhere. So, maybe not. Maybe it is best if we either go to Crow's Perch and see what there is in the big city there, relatively big city, or commit to going north, Porter's Post and everything above and beyond that, because that does seem like it's a huge city. So it seems like the game is kind of trying to push us in that direction. We probably should listen to it. Yeah, so it may be that the low damage is largely because of the bad weapons, and I think that once we do find ourselves in a major town, a major city, then we can either purchase them directly or we can craft them with a decent craftsman. But when we're in the middle of nowhere like this, I don't think we have too many options. So let's try this location first, because I feel like if we are to find additional quests here, it's more likely for them to be in this area where we're kind of trying to focus for the time being. So let's see. Definitely some merchants. Shouldn't be a surprise, I
Do I look
suppose.
at all familiar, Master Witcher?
You the guy
My
we rescued
associate
before?
and me, you were kind enough to save us
Yeah.
from the very guards I myself had hired, no less.
All right. Rings a bell now. Get to your destination all right?
We did, and we were lucky to, for the trade proved surprisingly robust. I've new goods now, if you're interested. Naturally, at a sizable discount, it's your due.
Okay. Let's give it a
Show me what
shot.
you've got on offer.
What is this? Novigrad Longsword. It does have slightly higher damage, probably mostly because it has 100% durability, whereas our existing weapon probably has 0. What is this other thing that you have next to it, though? What's this? Racing Horse Blinders. I think that's, what, 20 horses fear level, or 40 horses fear level, rather. I think that our current one has 20. Actually, I have 2 of them. Yeah. Okay, so if we sell that, we could buy it. I don't really know. It doesn't feel like it's important enough for us to be shelling over 200 coins to get one right now. Not really what I was looking for.
So long.
Also, he can teleport. In case you didn't know. But I think we continue to look
Sure you still want to go?
and talk
cider
to the other traders.
Or a bit of dry curd. Me lad, it's not exactly bursting, but what I got's sure to please.
And this is also something I was looking for.
How about a few rounds of cards? Gwent specifically.
There's some other kind of cards we're not hearing about? Okay, definitely don't want the monsters. We don't have enough play as monsters, not enough cards. Okay, we have too many Biting Frost and Clear Weathers, I would assume. And not enough units that can actually deal damage. Let's swap out one of each. That is a great card. That's the one that allows us to get one of our, or use one of our units from our discard pile. Basically, gives you a card advantage, 1 card advantage, and it's 5 damage in and of itself, so it's a good card by itself. This feels like a much more balanced hand. And our opponent is also Northern Realms, and that version of Foltest is the Impenetrable Fog. Or wait, Impenetrable Fog or Biting Frost? Looked like you had the visual for Impenetrable, or for Biting Frost, yet it said Impenetrable Fog. Okay, that's weird. I think it is actually Impenetrable Fog. That's the range row. We can nerf the melee row, and we can also remove one of the weather effects. So I think for that reason, we deliberately try to keep our people, let's say, out of the melee row. Granted, there's not a lot of options. We're looking to do that. Besides, do we think it's enough to go Sabrina here as a 4? And this guy has a 5 in the range row to win a round with just them. Yeah, because I'd like to keep the siege people together. Reason for that is we do have our own leader ability that doubles our damage in our siege row, which means we want to have as many cards as possible in our siege row when we do that. And so we want to have these two played on the same turn rather than split them, so that they both benefit from getting doubled rather than just one. So I think we go ranged first. We hope it's enough, but in all likelihood, our opponent will probably try to get clever here and get pretty aggressive. So we'll do this, and we'll see, based on what our opponent does next, how to react. So, we could use Biting Frost. That would lower Vest to a 1, and then we would have the lead. Would our opponent decide to pass for the round and say, okay, you take this one, I'll get you in the next one? Maybe, but you never really know when you're playing computer. You're playing the NPCs, so it's a bit tricky. If we knew we were going to lose this round, then obviously we could play Stennis and get ourselves some extra cards. Could potentially double. I think what we do is we go Biting Frost. That gives us the lead by lowering Vest to a 1. We'll be up 9-6. If our opponent plays a decent card and then takes the lead with that card, we'll play the Commander's Horn and double our range row, and then that should be hopefully enough at that point to give us a pretty comfortable lead. And if our opponent continues to play cards, then we'll play it by ear. Okay, but there we go. Vest is down to a 1. Do you pass or do you continue playing? Continue playing. Pretty strong card at that. I was really hoping you wouldn't put us in that position. You're at 12 strength. We're at 9. We can double to get to 18. I think we do it. So our opponent has basically wasted a card with Vest nerf in row 1. That I didn't want to see, though. That hurts. Okay, we did know that that was theoretically possible. That our opponent could play card to nerf this row based on their leader's ability. We go Impenetrable, or rather Clear Weather, to clear these weather effects. Our opponent will, go up by 4, and another 4 there. So 8 total, they'd be up to 16. We would be 18, I think we established. So we would take the lead if we did this. Is it worthwhile to do it on this occasion? Hard to say definitively. If we wanted to say, okay, they've won, then we would play Stennis. I'm holding on to hope, though. Maybe it's not the best idea. Would like for our opponent to pass. Give us the win for round 1. Oh, playing a spy. Okay. Interesting. Now, so our opponent presumably is then assuming that we are going to win this round and therefore is willing to give us additional strength so that they can draw 2 more cards. Do we counter with a spy of our own? That would be a bit of an interesting option there. Our spy technically would boost our opponent more than their spy will boost us, so our lead would get down to just 1, and maybe we'd be tempting fate a bit, but it would still allow us to draw 2 cards. I think we take that chance. Got 2 cards. Does our opponent pass here? They do not. Sheldon for 4. Just need 3 to take a victory here, or at least take the lead, I should say. There's no way of knowing for certain. Our opponent will pass after this turn. Let's go... Yeah, I think we play our weakest card here. We want to invest as little as possible while still holding on to a lead. And so if we continue to play 5s, then that will continue to be the case. I'm going to hold on to this card, though, and this card still. We definitely want to save these. Doesn't matter. Other than that, though, which card we play next. Now, our opponent has to pass at some point, right? Okay, now that was a clever play because that means they took the lead by 1, does force us into playing a pretty decent card, and it's a little bit of overkill at this point, but I mean, at this point we're kind of in go big or go home territory. So now they should pass, or just play a horrendous card. Okay, so now we've definitely won this round. Right, they have 0... Oh no, they do have 3 cards remaining. Why did I think they had 0 cards remaining? I don't know. It is really tempting to pass here. Probably because they started playing cards that were pretty clearly not great. So, do we take the risk and assume that we'll still get the victory even if we pass now and allow our opponent to play additional cards? Does mean that they will have played 1 more card than we have, in which case we'll have a... well, we wouldn't have an advantage from a card standpoint for rounds 2 and 3 because our opponent would get an additional card after winning a round because they're also Northern Realm, so I think we do, unfortunately, kind of need to play Siegfried. Our opponent will likely pass here. Yeah. The reason why is because it does guarantee that we win this round 1. We will get an additional card from having 1 in round 1, which means that we will be both working with 3 cards. Didn't really want to see that one, though. The ranged row, and we are going to be going with the siege row this time around, so suppose it's, you know, it would have been terrible if it was the weather effect that affected siege, but it isn't, so that's not bad. And don't forget that this card does allow us to play 1 unit from our discard pile, so we would probably play, well, I mean, any of our 5s, really. Ideally, one that is not range, in case we do decide that we want to use this. So let's go that route. Maybe go with the card that allows us to play an additional card first, so that our opponent is split. If they do have a weather effect, they're not sure which row they want to hit. Maybe they hit melee, even though siege is the row that they actually should hit. So now we've shown our cards. Now they know if there is a row that we ought to target. The siege row, however, those are some awfully weak cards there. So we can use this, double up our siege row, as I was referencing before. Should be far more than our opponent can handle at this stage, because, yup, that is all they had. Some pretty weak cards at the end, so mounted to pretty sizable victory, at least in that round. We're up against it a little bit in round 1, making me nervous.
Quite the work my man's got, eh? Not half bad.
We got some crowns, and we got Elven Skirmisher, a Scoia'tael card, which is a little odd, because I was, at least earlier, suspecting that it might be that when we play a Northern Realms person, that we'd get a Northern Realms card.
Leave me alone.
You actually have a name. You're not just a random person. Makes me think that you are potentially significant. But yeah, that broke our theory there. And let's see if we can find someone who will make it possible for us to make some nice stuff. Some decent gear. Oh. With which to fight the 14s, 15s, and other enemies of roughly that type of difficulty that seem like we should be able to fight with a bit of an improvement to our setup. And that hopefully will be enough. Let's see. You are just a random peasant. Does not seem to have much of a note. Give to us, or to talk to about. Okay, don't loot. Not there. Presumably it will make people angry. I am sorry, yes, I did just absolutely bowl you over. Just wish. I think we've seen that. Human life requires 3 things for its sustenance. Food, drink, and gossip. Ah, we have. How could I forget gossip? Right, if we scroll down. This is written by Dandelion, almost certainly. Award-winning poet, playwright, and troubadour, frequent performer at the courts of Niedmar, Vizimir, Venslav, and many other nobles and notables, alumnus of Oxenford Academy. Oh, actually, it was not Dandelion. Maybe. No. Thought we had seen this. Maybe not. Food, drink, and gossip. It is thus no wonder that no matter where I travel, be it icebound Povis or evergreen Toussaint, everyone asks me about the passions that bind Geralt and the sorceress Yennefer of Vengerberg. Yeah, we've definitely read this. Okay. Just making sure. We're not missing out on something. Oh. Almost missed this stuff. Couldn't miss out on the broken rate. That would have been catastrophic.
Here's a man who controls the wood. Big as a house it is, with huge arms.
Just random people, it seems. Lots of water and honeycomb in the houses, which is a little bit unusual, but sure. I don't mind if I take all that. And this. And this. Yeah, I really hope there's no droughts incoming anytime soon, because you're not going to find any water anymore, anywhere in this entire town, at the rate we're at. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Will you leave him in the forest?
What is that then?
Take it
Huh?
anymore.
Still something over here to loot? Yes, there is still more, hiding in that corner. Okay. Sure. Where's the door? Okay. Have we looked at every building over here? No, I think maybe we'll go this southern one first. Except it's locked. So, maybe not. Separate. Some variety there. We leave this way? I thought this was on an island. So, yeah, I was a little confused as to how we could be stepping out of town, or at least starting to step out of town, while we were on an island. Or at least an area surrounded by a moat that technically make it an island. I don't know. It's actually a good question. Castle surrounded by a moat. Are they on an island? Whoa. Very good stuff in here, it seems. Lots of medals and war. Runestones. Those are not always easy to come by. That's just an extinguish. Don't worry about that. But definitely not bad. For us to have checked this place out, and there's a little bit more in this area, it seems. On the edge of town. Maybe? Or it might be a little bit broken down. Yep, come on. I just wanted the honeysuckle. Okay. Sure. And theoretically, there is an herb there somewhere. I'm not sure we're gonna be finding that so easily. That looks like that could be decent. Let's take a peek. Might that be a nice pair of, or a nice chest plate for us to throw on here? It looks like it very well could be. Now, granted, yes, it does have plus 13 armor, but it has more durability than our current armor that we are using, and therefore it is possible that if we were to repair this, that it would still be better. But I think that may still not be the case. I think this is probably still the way to go. Give that a shot. And then... I do remember we got these a while back. And the 2 sockets were intriguing. It also is at least slightly worse from an armor standpoint relative to what we have at the moment. But... yeah. Ooh, hold on, there's more. Water. And other valuable tombstones and like. Oh. Yeah, definitely glad that we did take that opportunity to look at this area over here. Is there anything else hidden in various rooms here? It's a little hard to keep track of which sections we have looked at and which ones we have not. Oh. Ooh, okay. Those say common item, whereas the other ones I believe said master item. First chestplate that we got that was pretty good and opted to wear. So my guess is that those other ones are not as good. You can double check, but yeah, definitely saw that. That's the way we came in? Okay. Except maybe we still need to open it? We'll double check as to whether that armor is any good, but I think the ones that we just opted to use, yeah, it's gonna be better. Okay. So potentially stuff that we could sell. Still make a little bit of coins off of it. Huh. That I don't think we've read. Diary of the Fire Swallower? I think we would remember that. I was at Loch Muin. That's right, the summit of summits itself. We've gone there, my troopmates and I, knowing there'd be a meeting of the mighty in the ruins. You see, whenever there's big shots gather to choose, or whenever big shots gather to choose some particularly grisly fat, there's coin to be had for performing men like us. Tired jaws need to relax with some laughing and indulging in other sports of simple delights. I learned this as a lad from my old man, who dragged me around to juggle outside courts and conventions all over the continent. And so now, plying my own trade as a fire swallower, I told the lads up soon as I caught word. Told the lads up? Okay, whatever. Odd phrasing, but I told the lads up as soon as I caught word of what was brewing in Loch Muin, and we turned our wagons that-a-way at once. Not much one for politics, but I couldn't help but listen to some of it this time. You see, we Temerians had just lost our king. Sorry. And our future was to be decided at that very summit. John Natalis representing our side of the matter. Radovid was there too, a young pup then, though emanating strength like a gray-haired alpha wolf. It seemed this wolf was licking his chops over Temeria like it was a ripe bit of carrion. Okay. Now, obviously, we have experienced that ourselves, to a certain extent. That is, spoiler alert. A direct reference to The Witcher 2. Or Runestone's Amber. I don't know if we've seen that yet. The amount of rotting flesh that we are finding in people's homes, though, it is, definitely starting to raise a bit of an alarm here. It is beyond mere coincidence. At this point, it would seem. I mean, it probably still is, but a little odd. A little odd that seems to be a common thing for people to collect in this area. Excuse me, sir. How dare you swing that at us?
Master the trade keeps the hunger at bay.
Nah. We won't spar with him. He needs a little bit more practice. Oh, that was a white bear pelt, I think. Which is fairly valuable. And we're just loading up on all the alcoholic beverages. And so I believe some of them we will end up using because they are a crafting base for refilling our potions whenever we meditate. But we did sell a fair number of them somewhat recently. And therefore, that's locked. I don't know if... I mean, every time you see a locked door, this is, you know, classic RPG tropes, but every time you see the locked door, your mind always drifts to the, well, surely there must be a way to open it, right? It just wouldn't show up at all.
God bless you.
You wouldn't have put a door there at all if you were not going to give us any chance of going through there. We saw some locked doors earlier. One of the buildings that we did not opt to go into earlier? No, it looks like we did. I thought there was one in the more northern-ish area. We definitely saw you. Okay. So maybe we head on up. Seems like this is the way you do that. Notice board. Something tells me this is not the way you do that. Something tells me this is the way you, say, prevent intruders from doing that. Curious if we can pop it. Can't keep us out. Geralt of Rivia does not take no as an answer. He will parkour his way through anything. Maybe. Possibly. Hold on. What if we... It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's probably not gonna happen. Alright. Fine. You may have gotten us this time. But we of the Witcher sort, you know, we'll occasionally hop on roofs. Take that as our plan B. Okay. This is actually the right way. Okay, for a second I thought this was the little side area that we were going down earlier. Is it? Huh? Maybe it is. But this looks like the actual way into the full town. Okay, that's a fire pit. For a second it looked like a weapon rack.
Shh, Maru. If I want to plough some peasant lass, I will. Don't get caught about no rubble everywhere.
Can we go in here? Anna Stringer, wife of the Bloody Baron, presumed kidnapped. Party reward for whoever finds her or brings her in. Sounds like potential Witcher work, and seems like at the moment we might not be able to get in here. I was assuming that we probably would be able to, but apparently that is not the case. Unless there's like some other way in, which maybe that's possible. I'm pretty sure this area over here is where we're trying to hop the fence. Maybe we get off the fence if we go around over here, but something tells me we are just technically not supposed to go into this part of town yet. We're probably supposed to, you know, like, maybe do the main quest first. Wherever that is. Oh, we don't have it tracked at the moment. We have the Defender of the Faith way down here. So, yeah, I am a little bit wondering if it is perhaps time for us to start moving the main quest along a bit, because it has been certainly feeling like things have been slowing down when it comes to us doing side quests and other random encounters in the wild. Now, I was hoping that we might find some good people to talk to and trade with to get some upgrades, and I think we could perhaps relocate to Blackbow to make that happen, because there is an armor, and I believe also a weaponsmith, or maybe just an armor, at Blackbow. So maybe that's really what we're looking for, and at this stage it doesn't make much of a difference which craftsman we're talking to, as long as we get to a craftsperson. So maybe that's the plan. It just feels like we're, dare I say, well, if we were to upgrade our gear a little bit, we would definitely be able to do a few more things, because we have, what, like 2 or 3 things in the level 14 to 15 range. This is not a door. In the level 14 to 15 range that we have been thinking about doing, but not quite able to do. So with some upgrades, we should make that possible. But otherwise, feels like either we go north,
Got that arse's whipped like you know Vids.
or
You surprised?
go north to the town where we started to cross the river to get to, or at least that area, or we decide to start doing a little bit more on the main quest. Let's go to Blackbow for now. Because at least here, we know that we can get a bit done by talking to the... Okay! Hello to you too. I believe we can, do this. Enhance our items. Then if we speak to you, not extinguish or ignite the flame, but like, speak to you. Will you speak to us? Are you too involved, too engrossed in your work to actually speak to us? I don't want to use that. I want to speak to this blacksmith gentleman. Seems... How dare he? He will not do business with us. Look, I was just kidding, okay? Didn't actually want to throw a punch. Okay, so it is, what, theoretically, like 6-ish p.m. right now. But maybe if we meditate until dawn, he will decide that he wants to actually speak to us.
Don't you look at me.
We're doing the same thing.
Yeah?
Maybe we're just approaching him from the wrong angle. So what I would like to do is
Got this
see...
diagram. Think you can forge the weapon?
Well, he's weapons specifically, it would seem. Is that the case? These are just crafting materials. Hold on. That's the shop. He does have some recipes himself. Might prove useful if we were to purchase them. Let's see. Novigrad longsword, terrible. We know it's terrible. A rune stone. That might be nice to be able to craft those going forward. Lesser rune stone. Don't know what kind of lesser rune stone, but maybe that might be an intermediary step, getting toward the Trig Love and whatever other rune stones we might see here. Adrenaline points, against the stagger, against cause bleeding, burning, armor piercing, Skellige longsword. As far as level 6, that looks like that could be decent. Does it specify if it's silver or steel? It doesn't seem to do so. I would assume it's probably steel. Also a runestone. As nice as it would be to get the runestones, I feel like at this point in time, it is probably more relevant for us to instead focus on the direct immediate weapon upgrades. We could probably sell some of our old stuff that is worn out and definitely has been replaced. Like we have our original silver sword and our second silver sword, both of which I think we have found a replacement with at least the Viper silver sword, if not the sword that we found more recently that we are currently having equipped. So let's sell the old silver swords. And this is a weaponsmith, so theoretically we should be getting a little bit more bang for our buck here. As for steel weapons, I think we're looking at several steel weapons that are very similar in strength, including the one that we currently have equipped. We're really looking for an upgrade, not just a side grade. And so that means we could sell these armors. Theoretically, it's not going to be as much of a good value for us, but I think we'll be fine. Because I don't think you get the bonus value for selling armor to a weaponsmith, but Let's see. Those are all the things that we sold to you. Foils, yeah. Okay. All the runestones. Skellige Longsword is the most intriguing to me. It says it requires level 6, and it is yellow in writing, which I believe means that it is sort of like the white is normal, blue is next tier up, then yellow, then the gold. So the fact that it's yellow and that it requires level 6 is somewhat encouraging. What was this one up here? Novigrad Longsword? Requiring level 5, and it's yellow? A little surprised there. This is only 38 coins, though. Give this a shot. I suppose it's not very high risk. Worst comes to worst, we blew 38 coins, and it's not the end of the world. Let's check out... Not alchemy, crafting. So... we look at... not the armors. I'm looking more... I mean, ultimately, yes, we should look at armor as well. But do we not have swords here? Huh? Crossbow bolts. Junk. Lovely. Gauntlets. Whoa. Oh, those are level 30. I was going to say, those look amazing. Tracker gauntlets. Those do look decent, and we're actually only one level away from being able to get those. So that is something that we could potentially keep our eye on. Okay, here we go. Here are swords. Would be great. It's a few levels away. Likewise there. Harpy. I recognize that from Witcher 2. Steel sword is what I'm thinking of in the most immediate future, though. Orion sword, bad. Viri cutlass, also bad. Nilfgaardian longsword, components missing. Iron ingot, we can probably craft our way into getting some of those. Here's the Skellige longsword, is basically identical to what we currently have. So, nothing that looks like could go. You can make Viper in the steel sword variety as well. Does that mean that? No, surely not any sword upgrade you can make either silver or steel. Is that the case? The thing is, it just seems like, particularly on the steel side, the Nilfgaardian longsword, and to a certain extent the Skellige longsword as well, they're not amazing. It's not an obvious upgrade, so I think more than anything, it may just make sense to repair and only do that. It is not terribly exciting, because at this point, I'd like to believe that we could find ourselves a better steel weapon, but it just seems like we're not quite there yet. I mean, this is an axe that requires level 6, and it is yellow. Suggests that, well, not a complete junk pile of, or it's not scrap that we're, I mean, I would say it's not something we found on the side of the road, but then, again, it's probably something we found on the side of the road. So, let's see. That brings us up to, what? 60%? And I didn't look at, damage-wise, how much of a difference that made. Or, yeah, our silver sword isn't looking great either, but I think it is still better than our steel sword, so it probably does make sense for us to have focused on the steel there. Oh, this is a more powerful repair kit. I didn't realize that. I was a little unimpressed by the normal repair kits only doing, what, 15%? If we did one more of these, one of the big ones, that would get us 100% on this. Not bad. I'm assuming these are probably fairly valuable. Yeah, 30 coins. So I don't feel like it's quite as necessary on the silver sword, but then again, if you think about some of those level 14, 15 monsters we were thinking of fighting, most of them were monsters, so we would use the silver sword. For that reason, I suppose that does mean that we probably do want to still use that, even if we're investing in, or well, you know, using some of our valuable resources there. Gets us up to 91. We're looking pretty good in that case. Our pants, boots, gloves, surprising amount of durability on them. I'm surprised, because, I mean, it's not great, but we have not been switching those too often. And those ones are definitely things we found on the side of the road, so I'm not feeling too much like I want to invest a ton in them, but there you go. Finally, we do not have the indicators on the left side of the screen trying to tell us that, hey, Lids, could really do something about the state of your gear.
Or just peruse him.
Do you...
Show me what
I mean,
you've
you're
got
just a
on
normal trader. You're not a, not an armor person or a weapons person, so presumably you're not going to have the same kind of stuff we might have been able to find from that other guy we were just talking to. So yeah, I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make. The repairs and chest plate that we picked up a little while ago.
So long.
But hopefully it makes at least a somewhat noticeable difference. And I think, yeah, I'm on the fence as to whether we want to do Defender of the Faith now, or if we want to just head north into the city of here, assuming we can actually enter this one. Or the other alternative would of course be to do the main quest, or at least go a little bit further on the main quest. I suppose. Oh, it's so far. I would say maybe we do Defender of the Faith now, but I mean, if we do, I feel like we're committing ourselves to exploring this entire area down here, which we've started... Oop, didn't mean to do that. Started to come a little bit closer to that area, because we did go as far south as this. So I suppose this isn't that far south, but then once you start going down here, then it's like, okay, well, then we want to probably commit to exploring this entire island and this entire area over here, and then I feel like we're going to get very distracted if we do that, and I'm not sure if that is the best route for us to take at this point. But the fact that there is another mini town here with a notice board, granted we've seen a couple of notice boards without anything quest-wise on them recently, but maybe this one will be different. So maybe it is still worth a shot. Let's give it a go. Come on, Roach.
Slow now. Whoa.
And plow down people as we're going through. Okay, so. Yeah, at the very least, we'll check out this town. See if there's anything there. And depending on how we're feeling, we may or may not opt to also go down to Defenders of the Faith. Now, these, I'm assuming, are likely bandits. Probably. Hello? That they are. I see there's a talk option. But something tells me you don't want to do that right now. One moment while we do a little bit of this. I'm trying to hit you while you're on the ground. Did we take that guy out more quickly than we would have in the past? I mean, presumably yes, because we upgraded our weapon, but I don't know by how much. That horse will attack us. I assume that kick will actually deal damage. We saw this before. I remember that. Oh, are you trying to escape?
Not your lucky day.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Hello. There we go. Ow. That's the one I actually meant to use. Although surprisingly, the axe actually dealt damage somehow. Maybe it was because the guy got knocked down, or the horse ended up kicking him. Or is it did not happen when we used Ard? Oh, nifty, but not nifty enough. Trying to throw in those blocks. Not interested in that. Or that. Okay. Let's carry on. I suppose we could have potentially broken down some things into more materials at the recent craftsperson. But whenever we're looking to craft something next, I think we'll also have the opportunity to do that then. I don't think that's going to be urgent. I'm not sure that's ever going to be super urgent. So maybe for quest, main questline reasons at some point. I don't know, but at least for typical crafting purposes. Now that is obviously a little strange that there is a pile of blood next to this large stone. Seems to have a bit of a circle around it. Might that be an indication that there is something over here? Perhaps? Oh, we have gone down this route, though. That looks like potentially something. Have we seen this little house? We did theoretically go past it. I wonder if that is worth doubling back to see. Here's town. I'm assuming we'll probably find a marker here. Fortunately, Midcops? That is maybe not the most pleasant of names. Ah, okay. An armorer.
You ain't safe unless you got a Gabrielle. The auto-crank one-handed Gabrielle ensures you get the first shot and the last word.
What is this?
Let me have a look at
Gabrielle,
your
of which you speak. These are... So the ones with the X's are the ones that are too high level for us to use. That is only one level higher, yes. I don't necessarily think that the chest plate is the slot that is most in need of upgrading after having just picked it up. At least somewhat moderate upgrade. Obviously, this could be an upgrade here, but I think, if anything, well... I would have said the boots and the pants. It's been longer since we've upgraded those. The gloves. But then again... it's... Well... They tend not to have as much stats on them. Or stats tend not to be as high. Surprise, surprise. The chest plate is usually the highest. What is this? I like the sound of that. Some treasure maps? I'm all about it. That might be just the kind of thing we're looking for. Some Witcher gear. We did... That's how we originally found the Viper gear that we used to craft our Viper silver sword that we used ever so briefly. But was... Theoretically would have been good if we used it immediately, and even once we did, a little while later, turned out to be pretty decent. These are different glyphs. Oh, right. Last time was not glyphs. It was, the rune stones that we were seeing. Cavalry gauntlets. I think we might have those. Like, we might be using them right now. So, yeah, I think the treasure maps are most intriguing to me, so I'm glad we picked those up, and it might be worth seeing what we find there at those locations, and then assuming that there might be some crafting recipes. That might be the best way for us to, well, find our next gear. We can remove upgrades. I wasn't sure earlier if that was possible. Whether that was something we could do ourselves, or if we needed a craftsperson. Seems like we do need a craftsperson, but it is possible. I was just looking at how we have some golds here. That would seemingly be something very nice to dismantle. Does this have silver in it? Silver pantaloons do have silver in them. I was joking before, but they actually do. Make it happen. Candelabra does actually have iron ingot. Or an iron ingot in it, which is actually 3 of them. It's not bad. I think there was a little while there where we were thinking that that was something we would want. The fox hide. I think we were holding on to this because it was a relatively cheap, not so valuable type of item. Oh, actually, no, it is surprisingly valuable, it seems. 32? I would sell it for 32. There's steel ingot. Okay. Not iron. Steel, which is presumably a little bit better. Okay, okay. Iron ore rather than ingot, I think, is a little less refined and not quite as good. So, well, the rotten flesh is just junk, not so surprisingly. Can get a steel ingot out of that. That's not bad. Let's keep the things that look a little bit more valuable. Slash already in the form of some useful, like that, well, yeah, like valuable materials like emeralds. Dark steel plate, I assume. Monster hide, maybe we could get, well, I think there's plenty of hardened leather and monster blood lying around, but I've only gotten monster hide itself twice. And it looks like it is, I mean, it's a relic item. Presumably that means it's good. Dimeridium, same thing. Let's hold on to that stuff. That's valuable to sell, so let's not do that. Yeah, I think that's probably everything that we need at the moment. Maybe turning pure silver into silver ingots. That might be going in the wrong direction, though. That might be a downgrade rather than an upgrade. And we probably should do this, though, because I don't think we're ever making anything out of a gold ruby ring, but gold nuggets and rubies, maybe. Okay, so we are making this tradesperson quite rich. Although we did sell a few things to him earlier, so I suppose there is that. Okay. I assume you don't buy the furs that we have at the moment, because that might... No, you don't. Okay. That would probably be the next most valuable thing that we have right now. Okay. And then... Oh, we did something, apparently. I don't know what.
So long.
Just wanted to see what the prompt was, but... Now!
You ain't safe unless you got a Gabrielle. The auto-crank one-handed Gabrielle ensures you get the first shot.
Yeah, I still don't know what a Gabrielle is. But, now it's time. Some of this.
How about you take a break from hawking? We play cards instead.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I think we have established that this current deck that we've been using is not bad. On our past few. What goes first? Okay. Here are our cards. Sabrina's not great. Neither is the Siege Expert unless we have a lot of Siege units, and we don't. So I think Siege Expert, definitely the lowest hanging fruit. You are great. We could get that other Siege unit that allows us to play a card from our discard pile, but I don't see that at the moment. 2 Commander's Horns is probably still worthwhile. It is a very powerful card. I think we sacrifice either Sheldon or Sabrina because they're both 4s with no other ability. And what did we get from swapping out Sheldon? I think we got Sheila here. So we traded a 4 for a 5, so not bad. And this is a Nilfgaardian opponent. Now, we have not had the most success against Nilfgaardian opponents. Thinking mostly about the Noble way back when, who absolutely destroyed us on a few occasions. Now, will this guy have as strong a deck as that guy had? Who knows? For some reason, that guy had by far the strongest deck of anyone we've ever played, and we've played several people since then. Okay, so you're just playing a 2 right now. So I think it's in the melee row. We should avoid the melee row. Well, actually, we don't have anything to nerf the melee row, so I'm not sure it matters. In fact, playing something in the melee row probably protects us from you trying to nerf it. That is a strong spy. You have given yourself a couple of cards in order to give us 7 strength. Which means we have a 9 strength lead at the moment, which is pretty substantial. I'm tempted to pass here because what that means is that, yes, our opponent could continue to play cards if they'd like. However, they do have to make up for that 9-point difference, and will the 2 cards that they just handed us for free, will they have to blow through even more than that just to make up for the 9 difference? I don't know. If this guy's deck is as good as the Nobleman, then yes, he will have several 10s just lying around in his deck, and he can do that in 1 turn, and he's still benefiting from that. What I wonder is actually maybe we play a spy of our own. Counter a spy with another spy, then we get to draw cards. Oh dear. He's spying like crazy. Can we use the decoy to steal one of his spies? I don't know if that's true. But even if we can, it does mean that we could bring back, at the very least, Blue Stripes Commando, which is not a great card, but it's 4 strength. And that means that even if our opponent is planning on passing and giving us the victory here, we do get one of our cards back. I think we give it a shot. We can. Oh, that was actually the worst of the 2 spies. You want lower strength on the spies? So we have a 1-point deficit at the moment. 1 strength. And we've been playing spy games with our opponent here. We could continue to do so, but it would give our opponent a pretty sizable lead at this point. And I don't think we can have any more than 10 cards in our hand. Is that how many we have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So no reason to play a spy right now. I think what we do instead, potentially play the card we just got rid of. Yeah, unfortunately, probably. We could have done Sabrina instead. It's basically just swapping a 4 for 4. The reason why... Well, actually... Oh, hold on. Okay, we had 2 of them? Oh, we drew 1. Hold on. Yes, that was actually... Yes, that did work out in our favor in that case. Okay, you played this guy. Yeah, so these guys, if you do play 2 of them, and you play them next to each other, then they double each other's strengths. They are quite good under that circumstance. I had thought that, because I was pretty sure we used the decoy here, bring one of these guys back into our hand, and then thought I was just playing that card again. But maybe it was one of the cards that we drew with the spy. I'm assuming it's ultimately what happened. So we do have still a 6 strength lead at the moment, and that is potentially enough to pass with a little bit of comfort, knowing that our opponent would need to play at least 1, hopefully 2 cards. They want to still take that victory from us. Otherwise, we deliberately play small cards here and try to just eke out a little bit further. Basically invest as little as possible at this point, hold on to the lead, and wait for our opponent to do something to suggest that they are going to pass, or at least, yeah, basically that they're going to pass soon. That would mean either Sabrina, it's our weakest card right now, or potentially even Torrential Rain, because that nerfs the Siege row, and nothing in the Siege row right now, so it's a throwaway card at the moment. And we know we won't want to use it in at least one of the future rounds, because we'll have some Siege units. I think we do that. This is just a way to bide our time for 1 turn. And like there, okay, you've committed yourself with another card. A good card, or a decent card at least at that, a 5, whereas we just threw away a card that was not terribly relevant to us. We could... Actually, I think we have almost no reason not to use one of the horns here and double the melee row, because if we think about that, that means we'll be all the way up to 40 damage, which will be pretty hard for our opponent to beat. And then that means we have, if we do win this round, just one more round that we need to win for us to win this whole game, in which case what we can do is we can load up on the siege units, and we can use our leader ability, which doubles siege units, to double that row, and then we can use our one remaining horn, one that we don't use this turn, to double up the ranged units, which will mean that, well, since we won't have any melee units, we'll have doubled everything that we can double. So there's no reason to have 2 horns at this stage. Remember that although you see the melee card here, it is a spy, so we would end up putting it on our opponent's side. We could even, potentially, throw the horn here, and if this gives us enough of a margin here, then we could potentially throw a spy on our opponent's side. Probably should pass, yeah. So now what we will do, we will play that spy, draw some cards, because we will still be holding on to a comfortable lead here. And what did we get? We got a couple more siege units. That is fantastic. So that's basically exactly what we were looking for. We will pass, take the victory, and now that means that we have, what, 12, 24 in siege, which we can double using our hero card. Bring us to 48, which will be pretty hard to top, and then, not to mention, we'll also be able to double our ranged row with this horn. It won't be quite as big, but it will still be pretty decent. And then, of all the weather effects, to get the close combat nerf is actually amazing, because we are not going to have anything in the close combat row. So let's start with our weaker cards, in case we can bait our opponent into using some weather effects on a row that we don't really care that much about. That is a siege unit. Is it just a 5? Just a 5, nothing else of note there. Okay. So we'll continue to go in the range row. Trying not to suggest that siege is what we actually are interested in doing. Now, our opponent has played a melee card, so that does mean that there is some value to us playing the Biting Frost melee nerf card. If they continue to do so, then that would be fantastic. They've not, but there's no downside to doing it, so we certainly could. I mean, we're probably going to be playing all of our cards this round anyway, so I'm not sure the order of operations matters too much here. But let's double up here. Maybe that catches our opponent's attention. Maybe not. Okay. Random thought, but shouldn't Cynthia, of all people, be a spy? Like, Stennis is a spy, and yet Cynthia isn't? That seems a little odd to me. But anyways. So either we nerf the melee row now, or we play our siege cards now. I suppose let's nerf the melee row. But as I was saying before, doesn't really matter. Unless our opponent ends up clearing the weather effects, but they were going to do that sooner rather than, or at some point. Maybe they would have played it earlier, and before we had even played the weather effect and basically just wasted the card. If we'd gone in a different order, suppose that could have been the case. But the other risk was that, well, I guess the other risk would have been that they would have played a siege unit nerf, but we wouldn't have been able to counter that ourselves. We don't have anything capable of removing that. So I suppose we should have waited on the melee nerf, on the assumption that maybe we might have gotten them to waste that Clear Skies card. Alright, so we certainly have them beat here, but I mean, why wouldn't we beat them by as much as possible? So we're gonna play our hero card, our leader card, which doubles our siege row, getting us up to 76. All right, not bad. He's like, get out of here. How dare you embarrass me like that? That is quite a name. Let's maybe check that out. Guessing that is... Oh, actually, Northern Realms. I was thinking that was going to be a Nilfgaardian unit. I mean, again, we were at one point thinking that playing against Nilfgaardian opponents would lead to Nilfgaardian rewards, and, you know, basically it would always be a reward of the same type of card that you were just playing. I'm phrasing this poorly. The type of faction that your opponent has, I was thinking would it be the type of reward you would get. However, we have confirmed that that is definitely not the case. But that is... It's a 5. We definitely have cards that are worse than that. It's a melee 5. Do we have any melee 4s? That would be an obvious one to swap out. I know we have some ranged 4s. Yeah. We do have a melee 4, but it's the type of melee 4 that has the type bond where it gets doubled if there are multiple of them next to each other. So it can go up as high as 8, or even... I don't remember order of operations wise how it works. Does it go up to 16 after that, or does it go just 12? Either way, it potentially can be a lot more than 4 strength on these guys. So I think it is either Sheldon or Sabrina that goes, and Sheldon, sorry buddy. Emil is taking your place. So in theory, that gives us 1 more strength. Maybe a little less versatility, in that we don't have quite as much in the range row now, because we'll be swapping out a range character for a melee character. We might have done that at some other point as earlier anyways, so I think we're still somewhat balanced, which I'm assuming is something that you should kind of, sort of attempt to do, so that you aren't, you know, 100% melee, and then if it turns out your opponent has the Biting Frost card that nerfs melee down to 1 strength, then you're ruined. There's no coming back from that unless you have a clear skies and can clear the weather effects altogether. So I think it's the first useful card that we've had in quite a long time, at least immediately useful, because we are obviously playing on the Northern Realms decks right now. And as for just how significant an upgrade it is, remains to be seen, probably, until we end up playing, and probably just 1 strength is not a ton, but it's something. It's something. So let's take a quick look at the map here. We are in this new town. Let's check the notice board. Why don't we see if there's anything else for us to do here? There probably is. I am sorry. I did push you. I don't remember if we've looted this house or not. I don't think we have. Excuse you. Oh? Oh yeah, again, we tried turning things into components before talking, or... Yeah, we tried turning things into components before we looted everything in the buildings and whatnot, so there definitely could be more things that we find soon that we would have said, well, you know, would have been nice to break that down. Amethyst. Not sure how many of those we have. We have more of them now. I can tell you that much. But, you know, worst comes to worst, we just head back over to that guy and break down our items into their components once more. Okay. This is like the edge of town.
Roots are gonna rot my gut.
It's kind of nice. You know, you have the nice foliage here on the edge of town. People are picking the flowers and whatnot. And it's big enough that there's actually someone to trade with us in this town, which is more than we can say about some of them. It's not inhabited by mysterious Al Ghouls of an unknown level, So, you know, that's a plus. That is a plus. As for whether we're gonna find... Well, I mean, the amethyst was really good. I'm assuming. But as for whether we'll find anything else that will be particularly notable in these houses, hard to say definitively. You have a name, and therefore, you seem significant. Oh, it's the Elderman again? We did see an Elder... Well, it's a different Elderman, but we did see one in, what, the Fisherman Town, I think? Diamond Dust. That's not bad. Or no, that's just the fire. It's tempting to try to take those from here, but... I don't know. I haven't taken particular note as to whether there are guards in here that might get mad at us if we were to loot things out in the open. Could be the case.
So tell me, you beat me wench once, sweet. We're off.
That guy looks like a craftsman for a second. Been in that house right there? I'm not sure if we have. I think that might be it. Were we just in here? We may have been. No, we have not been. So I will take it. Sword for witches? You mean witchers? I don't think so. Who are the hunters, you ask? Folk like you and yours, I reply. The decent kind, haters of lies, doers of good, kind who live according to the gods' laws, and nature's laws too. Those disgusted by the machinations of witches, magicers, and non-humans. All that separates us from common folk is that we've the courage to take up arms, defend our lands from evil, to slice out the gangrene that eats us from within. We haven't a leader. We haven't forts or land, though God-fearing Radovid supports us with his gold at times. Who is this who's writing this? Radovid supports you? Don't have land? We've not sworn him, nor any other ruler any oath. I do remember this. We've read this too. Enough with the repeated reading material. We are scholars. We need new things to engage our minds. Learn. Push ourselves. Oh, wow! You were thinking it too. Don't lie.
Ah! They watch it, you clod.
Okay. Let's go notice board. I think it's more or less the last thing we have in town here. Dear neighbors, I had these awful dreams where I opened my mouth and all my teeth come tumbling out at once, then turn into vile, squirming little things that burrow into the ground. What could this portend? Misfortune? Illness? A barren wound? If you know, pray tell, and I'll feast you to berries and broth. That's so you know. Kind people, don't eat cats. It brings horribly ill luck. After I brewed a broth from our she-cat, next day I twisted my ankle in the field. It's clear they speak truth when saying that cats are creatures soaked in foul magic and copulating with witches and seek revenge from beyond the grave. Good folk, take no advice from the Peller. When our Rosa fell weak, he said to put her on a pine plank and stick it in a fired bread oven, then count to 12 3 times. When we pulled her out, she had burnt to a crisp, and there was nothing left to bury the charred bits. But the charred bits. The Peller refused to give back the 3 hard-boiled eggs we'd given him. Said he'd already eaten them. What the heck? You put a person in there? What? Okay. If I catch anybody taking plums from my orchard, I'll cleave them in 2 with my axe. Don't say I didn't warn you. Oh? Oh, I wonder if these and we probably should have noticed this before, but these notices that are just like a piece of paper are probably just the ones that, don't have anything of particular note to them. Whereas this one here, I'm assuming, that has the little seal at the bottom, might mean that this actually has a quest tied to it, or is some kind of contract. Hence, ladies of the wood are unhappy, so the trees whisper. The offerings we make are not enough. We pray too seldom, and too often we take their name in vain. Mend your ways, good folk. Show contrition and fervor in your faith. For if the ladies too abandon us, we'll all perish in this forsaken bog. Alright, contract Jenny of the Woods. Hark! Some devilry's taken hold of our fields, something neither spirit nor phantom. Old Will swears on his mother's grave. It's like to be Jenny's of the Woods. Jenny of the Woods. Huh? What is that? Whether it is or it ain't, be careful, and don't go out in the fields alone, and most certainly not without sight or rake in hand. But if you've the courage to drive the foul thing off, you'll receive a handsome reward. Okay, an undiscovered location where presumably we will find this Jenny of the Woods. And that's the same description that we just saw. I'm curious as to what level this is. Let's take a peek. It's under the Witcher contracts. Level 10. That's actually a pretty good match for us. Talk to the Alderman of Mika. Ah, okay, the Alderman. This person who we saw earlier, and we were thinking might theoretically have something to say to us, but unfortunately did not at the time. Now, this quest, he might. So I think with that being a level 10 quest, that is probably a good thing for us to set our sights on, because we are, what, level 8 now? And I think at this point, level 10 is actually the closest thing to our level. We saw the Defender of the Faith, yes, is also 10. We were eyeing that for that very reason. But same rule would apply to Jenny of the Woods. And there's nothing 8 or 9 that we see here. Nothing that we're about to become over-leveled for. So I think for that reason, it does make sense for us to... I mean, I assume Jenny of the Woods is probably closer. If we're talking to the Alderman, he's like standing right next to us. Quite literally, standing right next to us.
Greetings.
What do ye want?
So the notice about Jenny of the Woods, you posted it, right?
Perhaps.
Oh, aye. 'Twas me.
You sure about that?
You's a witcher, is you not? Straight off. A picture in me granny's book. Monstrum. Or a portrayal of witchers. Remember like it were the day. We be afeard of her. But Jenny of the Woods, what's she to you?
I don't really know, because I don't really understand what Jenny of the Woods is. But it seems like this is just common knowledge among Witcher folk.
Let's
and
talk rewards.
Everyone else, for that matter, as well.
Oh, yeah. So, how much would ye wish?
Let's see. That is not bad. How many coins we're talking about there. Now, I think, generally speaking, we might be able to get to roughly half here, would be my guess. It's probably a good place for us to start. Maybe going about 290. We'll see if he takes that offer.
Well, sounds right for Jenny of the Woods, but we're just short. Will you drop it a bit?
Okay, maybe not quite. Now, how much lower does it have to be? I don't know.
Well, sounds right for Jenny of the Woods, but we're just short.
And I don't know if you continue to bug him and raise his annoyance level, does the price that he will ultimately accept continue to go down? Like, if we had started off... Let's see if he accepts this.
Oh, have it
Okay.
your way.
Would he accepted our second offer initially if we had just led with that? Before we annoyed him at all?
I'm on it. Know if anyone's seen Jenny of the Woods? Could tell me more about her.
Who is
Old
Jenny of the
Will
Woods?
must have, but he won't tell you naught. He were weak of heart. We found him in the fields this morning. Other folk are afeard to go out nights. But you might try Agneta, lives at the end of the village. Word is she saw the wraith.
A wraith.
Nothing happened
Okay.
to her. She wasn't hurt.
Agneta? Outlived 3 husbands, that one. Jenny of the Woods won't do naught to that wench.
Okay.